My name's Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. We've got so much to cover. Yes, I'm at the radio station today. I'm going to start with the president's incredible new approval rating, as well as this story with Charlie Kirk. So we've got a lot to get into, no doubt about it. We'll be on the air shortly. And remember, today is Open Phones, Open MAGA Mic Friday. Any and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. We'll be on the air in less than 1 minute. Yes, thankfully it is Friday. Although I work 7 days a week, so it's never really the weekend. I could just wake up at 4 instead of 1:30 or 2 on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. It is so cold. It was 50 degrees at my house when I left this morning. I'm not sure what the temperature is now up here because I'm a little further north. I'm like, 40 minutes north of where I live. So it might be a little colder here, but it was the worst. You guys sick of winning yet? How could you be sick of winning?
New and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445.
Here we go.
Thank you.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
Alrighty, welcome one and all. It is Friday, March 7th, 2025. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. We have so much, 48 years on the radio. We have so much to cover today. I got a couple things I'm going to start with, and then by the way, it is Open Phones on Friday, Open MAGA Mic Friday. Any and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. I tell you, I just, right before I went on the air, I emptied out my pockets. I took my wallet and my keys out of my pocket because I am at the lightest I have been in over 15 years right now. I've lost so much weight, and I didn't put a belt on today, and my wallet and my keys, which only have 2 keys on it, my car and my front door, were weighing my pants down, and my pants would have been at my ankles if I had not. They would have been falling down the entire show because I've lost so much weight, and oh man, maybe I'll be talking about that later, but I got to tell you, I didn't think I was going to lose anything. I really didn't think it was possible, and it feels so good. The thing about losing weight, it's not so much about how I look. It's I feel better. I mean, it's amazing. Well, anyway, let's get right into it. I did a podcast last night, and when I woke up this morning, I got so many messages from people on both sides of the issue, but most of them were giving me a hard time, and I want to address this on the program this morning. And maybe I didn't explain myself well enough on my podcast last night, or perhaps people just didn't want to hear what it is that I had to say. And so I'm going to go through this, and we're also going to go through the president's new approval rating, which is, let me double check, 76% in the latest CBS poll. Think about that. That is the approval of this in the CBS poll of those who watched President Trump's speech. 76%. And CBS, they hate all Republicans, especially Donald Trump. So you got to at least add 10 points to that, at least, probably 15. So I'm going to give it up to like maybe 86 at least, perhaps 91% approval. But the Trump-hating, Republican-hating CBS News poll has Trump at 76%. So we'll talk about that and why that is as the show goes on. I think the country has always been conservative. There's been some issues that maybe the Republicans had a position on that a lot of people didn't take issue with. But overall, the country has been conservative, but liberals have been overrepresented in media. and there's been a false, and other things, there's been a false impression of how popular liberalism is. And the left have gone just so far over the edge with this woke lunacy. And President Trump's 76% approval rating, according to CBS News, is absolutely amazing. That's why there's so many Trump derangement syndrome meltdowns going on against the cult of the Never Trumpers that's still out there. So what I talked about last night on my podcast, I got so, and you guys listen to my podcast? You should. The Brian Craig Show podcast is on all podcast platforms. If there's a podcast platform, it's on it, and you can tune into that and enjoy it and listen to it, and it's pretty good. Been doing that podcast for over 10 years. The Brian Craig Show podcast on all podcast platforms. This story with Charlie Kirk that I was talking about fits into this poll story. Gavin Newsom had Charlie Kirk on as a guest on Gavin Newsom's podcast. And a lot of people don't know this because I've seen the way it is, and people are saying, well, Charlie Kirk interviewed Gavin Newsom. No, Gavin Newsom launched a new podcast, and Charlie Kirk was Gavin Newsom's first guest. And I'm really aggravated with Charlie Kirk for doing this, and I'm going to tell you why. And I want to take your calls on this as well, and I'd like to hear your thoughts because you all were very vocal. What do they say in my DMs? I couldn't believe. I don't think the people that DM me that were ticked off listened to my explanation of this. Gavin Newsom's podcast is his presidential candidacy announcement. Don't you understand that? The Democrats are regrouping, and they've told themselves a couple things. We can't win in our current state, so we've got to go to the middle and sound reasonable and rational again. And Donald Trump won because all the podcasters out there were behind him, and that's where the influence is now in podcast. So we got to get into the, what do they call it? We got to get into the podcasting space. So if you remember, President Trump announced his candidacy coming down the escalator. Obama announced his candidacy on the steps of the Illinois State House. Right? Now Gavin Newsom is doing something different. He's announced his candidacy for the presidency by launching his podcast. And I'm a big fan and supporter of Charlie Kirk. So what I'm about to say should be taken as constructive criticism of Charlie Kirk. Because I love Charlie Kirk. He's amazing. What he's done is absolutely amazing. He's made being conservative, being Republican cool among young people. And he's part of the reason that President Trump won. He played a role in that. So I'm not attacked. There are people I don't like, and I share with you when I don't like someone and I'm talking about them. I like Charlie Kirk a lot, but he made a big mistake yesterday. And here's the mistake. The mistake was being a guest on Gavin Newsom's podcast and being the first guest at that. And it's not just because he's given credibility to this lunatic. He's a crazy man, Gavin Newsom. He's certifiably insane. Look at his eyes. Look at his face. He's crazy. But that interview that Gavin Newsom did with Charlie Kirk on the Gavin Newsom podcast, if you've seen the news, and I saw Fox News was even talking about this all afternoon, what was the big takeaway in all the media about that? Now, I think most people think Gavin Newsom was a guest on Charlie Kirk's show. It was the opposite. What Charlie Kirk was the guest. And what Charlie Kirk did, and I don't think he realized this, but what Charlie Kirk did was give Gavin, this is the story that's come out of that, the takeaway, right? And you've seen this. It was the #1 trend on X yesterday afternoon, and I've seen it on television, and it's all over the place. Gavin Newsom pivots on transgender athletes. That's one of the big issues. They talk about these 80-20 issues. That's the new catchphrase of the last month, 80-20 issues. The transgender sports issue is a 99-1 issue, maybe even higher. And the Democrats have been in this trap of being behind it. And Charlie Kirk allowed Gavin Newsom to switch his position on that in a way that most people, I don't even think, realize what happened. It was almost like a magician. And the strategy that Gavin Newsom is using in his presidential campaign that he began with Charlie Kirk yesterday is the same campaign strategy that Bill Clinton was reelected using in 1996. When Bill Clinton was up for reelection in 1996, it was 2 years after the Republicans had retaken the House and the Senate in the House, the Newt Gingrich-led Republican Revolution of 1994. The Republicans in 94 won both the majorities in the House and the Senate. And that may not sound like a very historic thing to you today, because we got it now. But in 1994, it was the first time in 35, maybe 40 years, but at least 35 years, that the Republicans controlled both houses at the same time. It was a big deal. And the Republican majority, they had what was called the Contract for America. And I can't remember everything that was on it, but it was very popular. And when Bill Clinton ran for re-election in 1996, he adopted all of the Republican positions and made them his own. And he rode that to re-election. And he was going through a lot of bad publicity and all kinds of things at the time. And Dick Morris was his campaign manager, and they called it, the campaign strategy, triangulation. You can look all this up. I tell you this so you can Google what I'm saying. And Gavin Newsom is modeling his campaign after Bill Clinton's 1996 campaign, which Bill Clinton won solidly. And Charlie Kirk let him do it. Charlie Kirk just walked right into a trap with this magician Gavin Newsom, and now Gavin Newsom is on the right side of an issue that the Democrat Party wants to get out of so much, the transgendered sports issue. It was a big mistake for Charlie Kirk. And I'm not 100% sure why he did it, but he did it, and I don't even think he realizes what he did. He helped Gavin Newsom. Now, Gavin Newsom may not get the nomination, but he's planning on it, but he could. The chances of America electing a California Democrat, you may say, are slim to none. I agree with that, but you never know. And if he wins, God help us in 4 years, if Gavin Newsom wins, you remember what I told you, and it'll go back to yesterday with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk did a bad thing yesterday. It was a big mistake. And he's been palling around with a lot of these lefties. Who's that fat guy on the Young Turks, that Chint Uyghur guy? He's done stuff with him. Why is he lifting him up? That guy's a lunatic. He's another one that's trying to infiltrate our movement. Now, that doesn't mean the Democrats can't become MAGA. We have Tulsi and Bobby Kennedy, but that's not the young fat Turk or Gavin Newsom. So it was a big mistake. It was a big mistake what Charlie Kirk did yesterday. And see, if Gavin Newsom would have changed his position by himself or with Democrats, it wouldn't have gone over like it did yesterday. Charlie Kirk gave him an out, and people think, oh, he pulled it out of him. Gavin Newsom is crazy. He's a crazy man, but he's not stupid. He's very smart. And that was a master. I like Charlie Kirk, but going up against Gavin Newsom is not like debating one of these college kids. Okay? Debating the college kids is like Kramer on Seinfeld at the karate episode. Even if you know Seinfeld, you know the reference. I'm not going to explain it to you. You either know or you don't. Or you can Google it, I guess. So, Charlie Kirk got played and manipulated by a crazy man who's also a brilliant politician, Gavin Newsom. And boom, now all of a sudden, the Democrats have started to get out of the trap of the transgendered sports issue. which is one of the issues that brought President Trump a lot of supporters that have never voted Republican in their life. All right. Our number is toll-free 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll take our first break of the day and be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-K1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon. One of the DJs here at the True Oldies channel. Hope you're enjoying the Kane Show with Brian. And we want to remind you that at 10 this morning, the oldies are back. The greatest hits of the 60s and 70s right here on the True Oldies channel.
Here, when you take to our roads, use the 3 C's of safety, caution, courtesy, and common sense. Because safe and sober driving is everybody's responsibility. This message is courtesy of Maurice Auto Repair, family owned and operated for over 20 years, serving the area with pride and integrity. That's Maurice Auto Repair, on the air because they care, asking all listeners to arrive alive. Don't drink and drive.
Brian here. Right now, Mike Lindell at My Pillow is offering his first.
If you'd like to call in, the number is pinned in the chat. It's open phones on Friday. You can call about any and everything you have on your mind.
6-piece towel set, the My Pillow that started it all, and much, much more. And free shipping on all orders. That's right, free shipping on all orders with our promo code Kane at checkout. You can also order by phone. 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879.
Hi folks, Anita Mitchell here. Please join me on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for What's Your Story with Anita Mitchell. Join me this Tuesday at 7
We're coming back shortly, guys.
What's Your Story with Anita Mitchell. That's on the True Oldies station.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands.
Can't name one Trump accomplishment. He has sealed the southern border. They have like 14 people came through the other day.
All but disappeared.
That's an accomplishment.
Your neuropathy symptoms, call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, Harrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
Alrighty. We are back. Callers on hold standby. It's freezing out there, man. Oh my God. You know what the temperature is, Mike, today? It was 50 degrees when I left my house this morning. If you're on hold standby, I got a letter from a listener. And people still write letters and send them here to the radio station. And if you know, I get a lot of emails and DMs, but if someone goes to the time of writing a letter, and this one, Patrice in Lake Clark Shores, Florida, which I'm not sure where Lake Clark Shores, Florida is, but Patrice there wrote me this letter. And this letter is typed. It is properly written. Oh my goodness, I haven't even, have you ever written a letter, Mike? Written one? No. When I was in school, we had to, not only do we have to learn how to write letters, both personal letters and business letters and everything else, but they even had us have pen pals. I had a pen pal in Germany. Sven Goltz was his name, and we'd have to write letters to our pen pals because letters were a big thing. So I'm going to go through Patrice's letter in a little bit because she made some interesting things here, some comments about Ukraine, and I didn't know. All right, I'm going to go to the phones. It is open phones on Friday, open MAGA Mike Friday. The show prep is up to you. Any and everything on your mind's fair game on Friday's show. You don't have to comment on anything I bring up, although I would like you to. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Thank you. I'm calling from Houston, Texas. My name is Marky, and thank you for your show, and thank you for that open phone call. I just have one quick question. Should we, as citizens, be worried about if President Donald Trump,
here we go,
becomes a dictator?
A dictator? If he becomes a dictator? Well, listen, I don't know how this works, but you must, because you have concerns about this. what would be the process for Donald Trump to become a dictator from the elected president that he is now? How would that work? What would be the process?
I have not studied it out in detail.
So what are you worried about then? So you don't know even how it's possible.
You're 100% right, Brian.
Okay, so what are you worried about? I wouldn't mind if President Trump were president for life. If they made him president for life, I'd be happy with that. But, I know a lot of people wouldn't, but you don't, how presidents, what is the constitutional restrictions on presidential terms?
To my understanding, it's two. They can have 2 terms.
2 terms. It's a constitutional amendment. That's the law of the land. So when you have a constitutional amendment, how could he become president for life or even a 3rd term? How would that even be possible?
You're 100% right.
So what?
Oh, boy.
All right, take care. I don't think I changed his mind. I just think he just couldn't do it. He realized it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Mark from Jupiter.
Hey, Mark.
Well, you got through the first stupid question of the day. Congratulations.
Yeah, I didn't even have to use the dump. I was expecting to have to use the dump button with that guy. He opened with all the compliments, and as soon as I heard that, I'm like, here we go.
Yeah. Same old story. Hey, anyway, I agree with you 100% on Charlie Kirk. I love the guy, love him to death. But I watched the Charlie Kirk show yesterday, and he basically schooled Gavin Newsom on his path to the presidency. Here's the way you need to do it. And it was just, and he gave him too much airtime, and trust me, they're going to take sound bites at this, edit them, rearrange them, and they're going to...
And, Charlie, I know he's not a kid, but he's young. He doesn't have a lot of experience. And there's a lot of arrogance because he fillets these kids at the college campuses. I don't think he realizes he got played. He thinks he played Newsom. He got played yesterday, Charlie Kirk. They went out of that transgendered sports issue like nobody's business. You're right. And, the thing with Charlie Kirk, and I do think this is part of it, okay? Just as a listener, I don't listen to his podcast often, but I do on occasion. Sometimes if I'm out in the yard doing something, I'll listen. I find that he seems to me to be under tremendous financial pressure for his organization. It's a large organization. They do a lot of work. I know they got a lot of angel donors. And, doing this thing with that young Turk and Newsom, I think those are decisions that he's making under the financial pressures of his organization. I've heard him talk about payroll and everything else. And when you're under stress and anxiety, you make stupid decisions. And when you get arrogant because you're beating children in debates.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And I can see the way he pushes all of his stuff through his little store there. That it almost looks at times like the money's an issue.
Well, no, I'm not talking about average. I mean, obviously we do average. I'm getting ready to talk about people in a few minutes. It's beyond that. I've heard him talk about making payroll on the air, and that tells me that there's financial stress there.
Well, anyway, I couldn't agree with you more. I think he got played, and I think he certainly helped Gavin Newsom with his. And you're absolutely right. This is where he's going to launch his announcement for his presidency.
He did, and he was the first guest on the first episode, and you got to, I'm not attacking Charlie Kirk because I'm a big fan of his, and he's done so much great work for the MAGA movement. But this is constructive criticism. This isn't like Candace Owens who hates Jews, and I'm exposing her. He just is young, arrogant, maybe a little desperate, and made a bad decision.
Yeah, well, sometimes people need to point things out to you.
Now, you're calling from Jupiter. I'd gotten a message from somebody the other day. There's going to be a Trump boat parade on the president's birthday coming up. That's what somebody told me. I don't know. Yeah, usually what I do, Or do you? I usually go and buy one of those restaurants by the lighthouse and go there with friends and have drinks and stuff while we're watching the boat parades. To me, that's more fun than being on a boat.
Never a greater party than the Trump boat parade.
That's right. All right, take care, take care. If you guys have not been to that Jupiter Lighthouse, you ever been to the Jupiter Lighthouse, Mike? Oh my goodness. It's a lighthouse that was built during the Civil War. It is super cool. It is super cool. If you're on hold, hang in there. I just checked right before I went on the air at 6. Free shipping is still in effect at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane. And I heard from quite a few people, I guess because I was telling you about the text message I got from John in Wellington about the MyPillow towel set. A lot of people telling me they ordered the towels yesterday. I was talking about the MyPillow towels yesterday, and I ordered another set for myself this morning when I was checking the free shipping because it's such a great deal. You get the discount on the towels, which are like $40 off, plus free shipping with our promo code Kane. And remember, it's free shipping site-wide on all orders, no matter how small. There's no minimums, no catches, no gimmicks. But I was telling you guys yesterday that if I could only have one MyPillow item after the pillow, and they're all great because I have them pretty much all, it would be the towels. The towels, and today is a perfect day. It's 50 degrees at my house. That's the dead of winter in Boca Raton. I'm here to tell you. And I get out of the shower, I just reach for the towel, I dry off, I get out of the shower, I don't have that cold feeling. You know, when you get cold, you get out of the shower because the water's evaporating off of you, because I'm bone dry from the MyPillow towel set. And I've told this story many times, but it's amazing. I was getting ready to do a live stream at home, and I had a big 16-ounce cup of coffee in my hand. I bumped into the door jamb and dropped the coffee, and it spilled all over the floor in the hallway of my house. I reached into the guest bathroom, grabbed the MyPillow towel, the white one, oh boy, and I threw it on, just tossed it over the floor, and it was coffee with creamer, and I picked it up, and that towel absorbed the entire 16 ounces of coffee. The floor was dry, and I walked it out to the garage, which is where we have our washer and dryer. It didn't even drip on the way to the washing machine. I couldn't believe it. And then when I washed and dried it, it looked like new. I couldn't believe it. It was like a Bounty paper towel commercial. It was absolutely amazing. So get your MyPillow towel set, great deal, and free shipping with our promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at checkout. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. Call us on hold, stand by. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon here on the Steve Kane Show with Amazing Brian. Just a reminder that at 10 this morning, we're back to the rock and roll music on the True Oldies channel.
From the All-Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
This Friday morning and throughout the day, a high of 74 degrees and sunny, mostly clear tonight with a low of 63 degrees. On Saturday, it's going to be a high of 79 degrees and sunny. Saturday night, it will be a low of 67 and mostly clear. Sunday morning and throughout the day, a high of 83 degrees and sunny, and then Sunday night, mostly clear with a slight chance of showers and a low of 71 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All-Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All-Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
I-95 looks free of major delays at this time. You'll find construction on the Turnpike at Beeline Highway and at Boynton Beach Boulevard. Spot something on the roads? Call the traffic tip line. Pound 250, keyword West Palm traffic. I'm Ron Hersey.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach.
Welcome, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe.
With Splish Splash, music of Bobby Darin on March 14th. Enjoy a delicious three-course dinner, great songs, and a swinging band. Celebrate St. Patrick's Day with Celtic music by Gaelica and an all-you-can-eat Irish buffet. Don't miss comedian Patrick Putty Warburton March 20th, and then rock on with the Pure Zeppelin experience March 21st. Go to PeteKennelClub.com.
If you're a homeowner or with a homeowners association and your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. Laporta Roofing has been in the roofing and construction business since 1984 with thousands of roof installations and thousands of satisfied customers. Did you know that in the state state of Florida, you can open a roofing company and borrow someone else's license? Tom Laporta is the holder of his roofing and general contractor's licenses. Not like the other companies that borrow other people's licenses. So be sure who you're dealing with. Tom Laporta and his team are honest, knowledgeable, and reliable, and he'll never sell you a roof you don't need. Laporta Roofing carries all insurance, including workers' compensation on all of its employees. Not just a waiver like other contractors. Laporta Roofing can handle any type of roofing job too. Residential roofing, HOAs, condominiums, and churches. If it's roofing, Laporta Roofing can do it. So call Tom Laporta on his cell phone, 954-604-4602, or connect online at laportaroofing.com. That number again is 954-604-4602. Laporta Roofing, the go-to roofing company you can trust.
Hi, this is Maureen Cohen from Nutrition World Palm Beach Gardens. March is National Kidney Awareness Month, and since it was 22 years ago this March, my husband Bruce donated a kidney to his best friend Ron. We decided to celebrate with a huge one-day sale. Saturday, March 15th from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Every single item in the store will be at least 20% off. That's right, all vitamins and supplements, natural and organic foods, skin and body care, pet products, everything. So visit us Saturday, March 15th. Tell your friends and family too to stock up on all your favorite natural products with 20% off everything. And Nutrition World Palm Beach Gardens is one of the largest selections of vitamins, supplements, and natural foods in the area. We're open 7 days a week at the northeast corner of PGA Boulevard and Prosperity Farms Road in the Carmine's Market Plaza. You can visit nutritionworld.com or call or text us at 561-626-4377. Additional discounts cannot be applied to everyday low prices or other sale items.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Donna from Jupiter. I'm calling to share my great experience with Jupiter Joe. My husband and I started listening to you a few years ago, and that's when we learned about Jupiter Joe Thomas. We're seniors with no pension and collect Social Security. All our investments were in stocks and IRAs until we heard about Jupiter Joe. Speaking of having your money work for you. So we got in touch with him, and he went above and beyond trying to locate all our diversifications. He answered all our questions clearly and returned every phone call. He recommended an annuity that enabled us to get a safe monthly income for life. So I just wanted to
We'll be back right after this.
you're in need of additional income, especially with the high cost of everything these days, please call Joe Thomas. It's no cost to you. He is so professional, knowledgeable, trustworthy, and you can put total confidence in him. My husband and I can't say enough good things about Jupiter Joe and his staff.
I want to thank you for your kind words for Jupiter Joe Thomas. If you want to call Joe Thomas, I'm going to give you his number. It's a no-charge consultation, which you can take advantage of no matter where you're located. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online
Here we go.
at jupiterjoe.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 48 years on the...
All right, we're back. Carlson will stand by. And, I was surprised Mike haven't been to the Jupiter. If you have not been to that Jupiter Lighthouse, you're missing out. It's a Civil War era lighthouse, and the Democrats used to run Florida, so this was a Confederate state in the Civil War, and they had a Confederate general who was based there, and they were afraid the Union was going to invade, so they hid the light mechanism. But you go into it's totally refurbished. It's beautiful. And you can walk to the top of the lighthouse and actually walk out around the light. It's like it is the best view and attraction or anything that I've ever been to in the state of Florida. And I've lived here pretty much my whole life since I was like 11. It's really, you should go there, Mike. It would blow you away. If you guys that have been to the Jupiter Lighthouse know what I'm talking about. All right, let's go back to the phones. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Am I here?
You sure are.
All right, that's cool. I was just wondering why Donald Trump has said he was going to lower prices on day one. He said repeatedly for days on end, and on day one, he said he's going to raise prices.
He's going to what? On day one? He said he's going to...
He said on day one, he's going to do on day one lower prices.
Lower prices. Now, okay, I'm going to answer your question. Hold on. We'll slow down. We'll talk about this. Now, where are you calling me from, and what's your name?
Winnipego, Minnesota.
Minnesota. The way you're talking, are you a minister? Because you talk like a black minister, like Arsenio Hall in Coming to America. But regardless of that, part 2 was incredible. That was next to The Wrath of Khan. That was like the best movie sequel ever. I was shocked at how good that sequel to Coming to America was. It was very good because I was expecting it to be complete garbage, but it was good. But I don't like this. We're making friends, and you're a Trump hater, and I don't want you to like me. Here's the here's the thing. Okay, so President Trump said he would lower prices on day one. You're saying he did not do that. I'm going to disagree with you on that. But could you tell me how the President of the United States comes into office and then they immediately lower prices? How does that work?
Well, it doesn't happen overnight, right?
Oh, okay.
Time.
Oh, okay. So you want to retract your statement. So now you're okay. So okay.
It doesn't. It takes time. It takes slow amount of time. Gradually goes down. Slowly, all right, but it goes down.
Your accent changes. Your accent changes more than Jasmine Crockett's. Oh, well, why don't you use your real voice? Is this your real voice?
No.
You act? Like, what have you acted in? You're a voice actor? What have you voice acted in?
Plays.
Plays? How do you voice act in high school? Yeah, that's not a job. No. I mean, I don't want to take it away from you. Really? Oh, is this another voice? What do you think you're...
Voice.
Oh, my goodness. This is scary. Are you in high school?
Yes. No, I graduated.
How long ago?
A couple of years ago.
So you've been out of high school a couple of years. You say you're a voice actor because you acted in a high school play, and you haven't been in high school in a couple of years. So what do you do now? You a gamer? You live with mommy? What do you do?
Well, yeah, in this economy that we're about to go into, I might as well live with mommy.
You live with your mom. So what do you even care about prices? You don't even pay for it. You don't even not really. For bums, it is. When I was 20 years old, I was out on my own. I had my own apartment. I was working full time on the radio. No, I was still in high school in '85. I was a freshman in high school in '85. But no, when I was your age, I had a full-time job on the radio. I wasn't living with mommy or daddy, and I was paying my own bills. But then again, no, it's called being a man, which I guess you're not. But the thing about what's the difference between being a man in '91 and 2025?
Well, in 1991, you don't got a whole lot of going. When in 2020. Something, you got a whole lot of going.
What? I heard a lot of babbling there. So why could I support myself at 20 years old in '91, but in 2025, you're living off of your mother?
Well, in 1991, prices were not high.
Yeah, they were, sure. When I was living on my own at 20 years old, I had 2 jobs at the same time. I worked at a radio station as a board op and was on the air, and they paid me $5 an hour. So I got a job when I got off the air. I had 2 jobs. And that job paid about $5 an hour too. And I did it.
Wow.
And prices were very high to me at that. So is this the excuse you tell your mom? Do you have a job at all?
No, I do.
What is your job?
Voice acting.
What? No, it's not. You said you acted in a play in high school. That's your... What do you really do? Nothing?
Voice act in college.
What? That's not a job. That's volunteering. What do you do that earns money?
All right.
Nothing. So you're a bum and you live off your mom. If you're worried about prices, why don't you go out and get a job and help your mom pay for things?
Just because other people worry about prices and I...
you don't worry. You don't, excuse me. No, you don't worry. You don't worry about other... See, now he doesn't want to stop talking because, you know... Oh, you're going to check out? You're going to check out? You're going to check out?
I'm going to check out? No, because I haven't pressed the red button yet.
Oh, no, I'm going to do it first. You don't care. He doesn't care about other people. See, you know what happened there? He was getting a dose of reality, and he was putting his hands over his ears. La, 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 I can't hear this. I can't hear this. This is what my mom says. Get a job, bum. Get a job, loser. If you're concerned about prices, and you're 20 years old, and you're not working, and you're living with your parents, okay, maybe you should get a job and help mom pay the bills. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. There's nothing wrong with living with your parents as long as you're working. You know, I was out on my own, but once or twice I moved back home between things. But I was working. He's living at home, not working, and complaining about prices. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Right. Yeah, it's Renee from Harlem.
Oh, hey, Renee.
And you and your white supremacist crew need to shut up, because bottom line, he's 20 years old. My daughter's 20 years old. They're not going to be running out getting 2 jobs, man. I'll be guaranteed you lived with your mom when you were 25.
No, I did not. I moved back I moved back. I was on the radio then. Everybody knew what I was doing. I moved back a couple times between apartments. Yeah.
You moved back a couple of times.
Well, I was living with a girl that dumped me. On the air, by the way. That was great. So I had to move back home while I looked for a new place. You know, that was fun. Oh, yeah, that was great. I appreciated that. Then she started dating another guy on the radio. It was embarrassing.
You did.
Yeah, well.
Because you're weak.
Uh-huh.
You can't even make a baby. You'd call it a plague if you did.
Uh-huh.
It's a good thing you didn't.
Trump derangement syndrome right here. This is Trump derangement syndrome, people.
No, it's the truth.
Uh-huh.
You thought it was funny to start making jokes about my wife? I'm going to make jokes about yours.
Your wife? What? Oh, your ex? Oh, she left you.
Yeah, and you thought it was a joke.
Why'd she leave you? What'd you do?
What did I do?
Yes.
I did.
Why'd she leave you then? She left you for a reason. What was her stated reason for leaving you?
Why don't you mind your business?
You brought it up. You brought it up. You called me and brought it up.
You're asking too many questions.
You called me and brought up your wife, and you said my ex-wife. You brought it up.
It's none of your business.
Then why did you call me and bring it up?
I didn't bring it up. You did.
No, you called me and you mentioned you said my ex-wife.
Have a clip on your YouTube commenting about my ex-wife.
Do I?
Really funny.
I have no
comment on your wife.
No, you're not. All right, thank you. Oh my goodness. Trump's doing his job, man. Do you hear this Trump derangement syndrome on the phone? Oh, man. Would these people be so unglued? And you notice how popular I am with black men? I have a huge demographic of black men in this listening audience. I am very popular with black men. I don't know why that is, but I am. Black men love me. All right. There's only one opening on the board. It is Open Phones, Open Manga Mike Friday. I want to tell you guys about Dr. Appleton and his laser wave pain treatment. You know, here it is. It's Friday. You want to, if you're in pain, and this is, you know, when I used to have my knee pain, this is one of the days that I would have really been suffering. Cold and rain. And my knee would hurt so bad that I was almost in tears. I went to Dr. Appleton. He treated me. I was talking about 20. I suffered from this pain since I was 20. And about 2.5 years ago is when I first met Dr. Appleton. He told me about the laser wave pain treatment and how it would rid me of my knee pain. And I'm like, okay, you know, I've had this for 20 years. I'd gone to doctors before. They did nothing. They did nothing. Some guy talked to me about surgery, and I've never known anyone that's had knee surgery or shoulder surgery and felt better after. Every guy I know that's had knee or shoulder, now this is just from people I've known, every guy I've known that's had knee surgery or shoulder surgery for pain, next time I see them, I say, hey, how's the shoulder? How's that? Oh, I got my second surgery. Second surgery? You know, Dr. Appleton treated me. Not only is the pain gone, over 2.5 years later, it has not returned because he fixed my knee with his laser away pain treatment. It is amazing. His laser treatment works. Appointments are not necessary, and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. Give Dr. Appleton a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain, too. Online, AppletonCairo.com. Every line on the board's lit. We'll take a break and be back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
For over 100 years, Sloman's Home Security has been your trusted partner in keeping your home safe and secure. Whether it's protecting your loved ones or safeguarding your belongings, our commitment to real security powered by real people makes all the difference.
That's right. Our dedicated team is right here in Florida, ready to serve you with expert care and support.
With 24/7 monitoring and personalized service, you're not just a number to us, you're part of our family. Join all the homeowners who trust Sloman's for peace of mind. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME today. Protecting what matters most, because the difference is human.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside, everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings
If you're on hold,
Plus
hang in there.
located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
This is President Trump's high school graduation
South
picture.
Florida's only professional women's soccer team is back. Fort Lauderdale United FC is on fire with 5 wins and a draw in their last 6 matches. They're now in second place. Don't miss the excitement of the Florida Derby, Saturday, March 8th at 7:30 p.m. against Tampa Bay Sun FC. Tickets start at just $20, plus enjoy a $3 hat-trick food menu. You can even win a cruise to the Bahamas, courtesy of the True Oldies channel. Get your tickets at FTLUTD.com. Brought to you by All Year Cooling. It's that time of year again. On the line.
I just remembered something. I'll tell this when we get back.
Scott's going to tell you all how he can save you boatloads of money for the rest of the time you live in your home off your electric bill.
My claim to fame is Radiant Barrier. I brought that to South Florida about 15 years ago, and I think I launched it with you guys on your show. It's the cheapest, easiest way to really create a game-changing situation in your house. You know, your attic gets super, super hot in the summer, and the Radiant Barrier just reflects all the energy that comes in through the roof and shoots it right back out the roof, lowering the temperature of your attic 30 or 40 degrees, and also cutting off the radiant heat wave that heats up your roof and then heats up your whole entire house. It just turns that energy from the sun and shoots it right back out the roof. And it's just a game changer in people's house. It usually cuts their AC runtime in half, lowers their electric bill about 30 to 40%.
I'm going to give you Scott's number and cut my kilowatts. This is Scott's cell phone, 954-939-1500. That's 954-939-1500.
Hey, I want to say God bless us that Trump won this year.
Absolutely.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. Oh, listen. I was listening during the break. There's a commercial running. There's a ladies' professional soccer team, and I'll tell you this problem I had with the spec spot okay. Years ago, this was not funny at the time. I almost got fired from the radio station for this. This was crazy. There was a professional indoor male soccer team. This was years ago. And they played at the arena where the Florida Panthers play hockey, indoor soccer. There's been some Trump rallies there. And they were advertising on the radio station, and I recorded this. I didn't record the spot. Somebody else did the commercial. And I recorded the commercial. And the person that did the commercial, they took a bunch of takes. They had a hard time getting the commercial done. And they finally got the right take. And then we took the commercial, and I gave it to the salesperson at the radio station, and they went over to the corporate office with the owners of the indoor soccer team. I can't remember what the name of the team was, but they played at the where the Florida Panthers play. And I gave the sales the wrong tape. I gave him the tape of the mistakes, the unedited. I gave him the raw audio, and they put it. And this was so long ago. It was actually on a cassette tape, and they played the cassette tape. It had the owners of the soccer team and their entire corporate management team, the team captain, and the coach. And it was all these takes with the F word in it. Oh, my goodness. Boy, oh, boy. I don't know how I did. I did not get fired for that one. Oh, my goodness. And it didn't even have the real commercial on it. It had all the outtakes. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. I'd forgotten about that till I heard that that commercial for the women's professional soccer team here in Florida. I like soccer. I do. When they have those local teams, they're a lot of fun. All right. Oh, my goodness. I thought I was done. Hey, Richie.
Right. Good morning. I had a friend, real quick. I had a friend in Ogden, Utah, which is very conservative, okay? And he ran a special event, and it was an outside event, and he forgot the national anthem, and these people are very conservative. And he had somebody said, I got a thing for the national anthem. And they played it. It was Jimi Hendrix's version of the national anthem.
Oh, my goodness.
Like crawling under a rock.
Oh, yeah. I thought I was done. They called me on speakerphone with the owner of the team and everything. It was awful.
Yeah, now when I was 18 years old, Brian, I worked at McDonald's in Hollywood, for $1.35. But I have to say, Renee is right. For a 20-year-old black kid to go to work, I mean, what you basically got to do is you got to wear your pants down by your kneecaps, have checkered underwear on so everybody can see you behind, and you can listen to hip-hop all day. That's the way to...
Well, do you know, listen, I'll tell you, I think you and I moved out for the same reason that guy hasn't. Why do you think? What do you think I'm thinking? Why did you and I want to get our own place, but that loser still lives with his mother?
It's called being a man.
Well, yeah, but specifically, we're money, but we're into girls. And you can't bring, if you're living with mom and dad, what are you going to... Yeah, exactly, right? And today, young men today in their 20s are so metrosexualized and other things, they're not even into girls. At least not in person.
I got three things I wanted to cover real quick. First of all, your coffee situation. Did you see what I sent you? Regular Folgers black silk, okay? It's whether it be dark or regular or light roast. Regular coffee has the same caffeine content. The difference is in the taste. You can control the taste.
Every cup of my Starbucks has 450 milligrams of caffeine in it.
You're right, and a regular cup of Folgers, okay?
Black silk
has twice as much caffeine as an 8-ounce cup.
I'll try it.
No, so what I'm trying to say is you can make it as strong as you want. Don't get the little capsules and go to your...
Oh, the Keurigs? No.
You gotta have regular coffee with like a Cuisinart, the 14-cupper. You make it as strong as you want. You'll be drinking 14 ounces, and you can cut back on your caffeine.
I will try that out.
Gavin Newsom. Okay, I want to ask you a question first of all. Before that, with Amy Barrett's decision, that mean we lose the $5,000 that we were going to save?
No, that was only one of many things. I'm not worried about that.
Okay, now the other thing is this. Okay, Gavin Newsom. See, I'm a little mixed throughout this. I think Charlie Kirk, I think a conservative like you or anyone else could go against anybody, including this guy from California, and debate him because we're right on the issues. He cannot turn that and flip that issue, even though the press are going to try. They have a law in California, and that law is signed on the bottom by a guy, Gavin Newsom, and it's men and ladies sports. So he can. That's why he tiptoed around that and said, it's not fair. But he signed the bill, and it's law in California, and his signature's there. On top of that, he's a schmo that stood there during those fires. He's done. He's not.
Well, I believe that they burned down Malibu to get to clear the property so they could be redeveloped. They you know what I mean? And that's, I was thinking about it again. I was driving down A1A through Lake Worth, and it's beautiful over the weekend, but there's a lot of old buildings and apartments and condos. They would love to tear those down and build towers to the sky. There's a real estate scam going on with the fires in Malibu, no doubt.
They did that.
Maui.
In the Bronx.
Yes, that's right.
Bronx burned because the landlords weren't getting rent money.
That's right.
Inflation, and they just had people torch their buildings. They all this money, and they leveled everything and built new stuff. Yep.
No, I agree with all of that.
He's not going to win nothing. I don't fear him at all. He's slick. Remember that? Oh, by the way,
I'm not saying that he's going to win, but I don't want him running, and because a lot of Democrats like him. But Charlie, listen, I got it. I'm up against the break, but I appreciate the call. Callers on hold. Hang in there. Listen, how would you like to turn your money into guaranteed income for the rest of your life? Of course you would. Of course, I'm talking about Jupiter Joe Thomas. And, the other day, I can't tell you how many people I ran into that said, oh, what do you think about the stock market today? The Dow's dropped. I don't pay attention to that. Who pays attention? Who pays attention to that? Crazy people that aren't into annuities with Joe Thomas. With an annuity, stock market ups and downs, you won't even know what happens. Because your money is safe no matter what the stock market does. It's never at risk. The stock market to me is gambling, and it's filled with a bunch of people that these big hedge funds manipulate it. It's I don't trust it. Okay, they pour money in and they take money out to manipulate it, and regular people like you, they call us retail investors. People like you or me, we're retail investors, and you can't keep up with the hedge fund manipulations of it. But with annuities, you don't have to worry about any of that. Not only can you turn your money into guaranteed income for life, there's no risk from the stock market losses, there's no risk of outliving your money, and you also can get a bonus on day one. Who doesn't want that, huh? So give Joe Thomas a call. He's offering no charge phone consultations. No matter where you're located in America, you can take advantage of this. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, you can just pick it up off of his website, JupiterJoe.com. That's JupiterJoe.com. All right, we have less than a minute left, so if you're on hold, hang in there. There's no time to take a call right now and let you speak. So I'll go to the phones after the break, all right? Our number, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. And again, it's open phones on Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. You can call in about any and everything on your mind. You don't have to talk about the things I bring up, although I would like you to. Do that if you don't mind, but you don't have to, okay? As you can tell by some of the calls we've already had today. And I'm going to go through this letter that Patrice from Lake Clark Shores, Florida sent me, because she brought up something about Ukraine that I haven't heard anyone talk about. So we got a lot more to cover. We'll take our break for the top of the hour, come back with your calls. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. Wow. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This Friday morning and throughout the day, a high of 74 degrees and sunny, mostly clear tonight with a low of 63 degrees. On Saturday, it's going to be a high of 79 degrees and sunny. Saturday night, it will be a low of 67 and mostly clear. Sunday morning and throughout the day, a high of 83 degrees and sunny, and then Sunday night, mostly clear with a slight chance of showers on a low of 71 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And
Watch for emergency vehicles on the scene of a vehicle fire. This is a jog road approaching the turnpike. There's construction Gateway Boulevard at Military Trail. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line, pound 250 keyword westbound traffic. I'm Ron Hersey.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. This March, go for the green in the poker room with lucky high hands every day and every 20 minutes, plus a $10,000 cash drawing. Check out new daily tournaments, bad beat jackpots, and table games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em and 3-card poker with just a $5 minimum. PBKC is the only place in Palm Beach County to watch, wager, and win on exciting OTB action. Check out all the ways to win at pbkennelclub.com.
It's that time of year again. On the line, Scott Messamore from Cut My Kilowatt. Scott's going to tell you all how he can save you boatloads of money for the rest of the time you live in your home on your electric bill.
My claim to fame is Radiant Barrier. I brought that to South Florida 15 years ago, and I think I launched it with you guys on your show. It's the cheapest, easiest way to really create a game-changing situation in your house. You know, your attic gets super, super hot in the summer, and the Radiant Barrier just reflects all the energy that comes into the roof. It shoots it right back out the roof, lowering the temperature of your attic 30 to 40 degrees, and also cutting off the radiant heat wave that heats up your roof and then heats up your whole entire house. It just turns that energy from the sun and shoots it right back out the roof. And it's just a game changer in people's house. It usually cuts their AC runtime in half, lowers the electric bill about 30 to 40%.
I'm going to give you Scott's number at Cut My Kilowatts. This is Scott's cell phone, 954-939-1500. That's 954-939-1500.
Hey, I want to say God bless us that Trump won this year.
Absolutely.
Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire and Margate on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire. That's out the door and on the road, because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
All right. Hour number 2 has begun. It is Friday. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. All right, back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Joe from Royal Palm.
Hey.
Good morning. Yeah, Shane's wife left him because she's a beard fan. He doesn't like women. That's
whose wife? Whose wife left who?
Shay from Jersey. He don't like women. That's why she left him.
I think you got him maybe mixed up with Renee from Harlem. A lot of people make that.
Renee, right. Renee. Who called today? The one who called today. Me.
Okay.
You down? How dare he?
Yes.
He's an idiot. I don't know how you deal with him, but anyway, Patrick Bateman, the crazy lunatic from California, he's the American Psycho. I don't know how anybody would elect a president, let alone governor.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion. He's put the two comparisons from the movie, his face and him, it's the same person.
Yeah.
Now, you know American Psycho, remember?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I haven't seen it in a while, but, yeah. You know, Gavin Newsom is, Gavin Newsom, he's just like Governor Whitmer. You can see the insanity in their eyes.
Did you see when he told everybody, right, plain and simple, yeah, we cleaned up San Francisco because we did for Ching,
Well, the boss.
The truth.
The boss is coming to town. No. But let me tell you. Trump's back. The Democrats will be back again at some point in the future, hopefully 100 years from now. But, a lot of Democrats like Gavin Newsom, okay? We know what he's about, but a lot of Democrats like him. And a lot of Democrats, if you look at President Trump had a landslide victory, but it was not a landslide victory in the House. Because a lot of Democrats voted for Trump, but voted for the Democrat in the congressional races. And one of the reasons they voted for Trump is because of his stand against the transgender issues. And I don't care what Gavin Newsom has said or done in the past. If Gavin Newsom is running and he takes a position against that, a lot of Democrats that voted for Trump may vote for him. And Charlie Kirk is lifting him up. I know. They're still Democrats.
That's good that you said that, because I seen like the podcast, and I'm like, why wouldn't Charlie? I was like, that's Charlie Kirk, and I was like, I wouldn't give any platform for them. They're just two-faced snakes that are going to switch on a dime Just like with Fredo went on Patrick David. He's a snake. All he knows is where the wind is blowing. Do not trust any.
Well, what happens a lot, listen, what happens with a lot of these guys, like, for example, I like Patrick Bet-David, okay? I think he's very good, and I like him. However, he shouldn't give 10 seconds to Andrew Tate, okay? And Andrew Tate is poison to our movement. We don't want him anywhere near our movement. Why embrace it? And a lot of these people are clout chasers. Okay, and maybe I should be a clout chaser, but I'm not. And they're clout chasers. They, if you go on with Newsom, you're number one trending on X. If you've got Andrew Tate on, everyone's talking about you. And I'll say, I think that Ron DeSantis, I think his people planted that question to him the other day about Andrew Tate so he could denounce him. So everybody was talking about him for a day. Clout.
Those guys are all plants.
Yeah.
They're like Lex Friedman. Where did Lex Friedman came out of nowhere? All of a sudden he was everywhere.
Exactly.
He's a plant. The government's planting these fake conservatives. They might have conservative values, but they're pushing a narrative that isn't theirs.
Fredo is a lunatic. I mean, those times, he sent me those messages on Twitter. Did you ever hear me talk about this? Yeah. I mean, he's not. I was sitting in my car at Target. And I was listening to CNN and he said something. I made a comment about it on Twitter. During commercial break on CNN, in the middle of the day, he's messaging me nasty things on Twitter. Fredo.
You should be.
But he's nuts. He's a crazy person.
Well, we got guns in Florida, so.
Oh, okay. I kept him on a beat too long. Why would you say something so stupid? It was going good. I mean, why would you say something like that? If you're on hold, hang in there. I had to use the dump button there. All right, our number is 888-465-2631 as I wait for the delay to rebuild. I saw Ralph Nader is in the news. Do you guys remember Ralph? Ralph Nader is a left-wing guy. He was like... I was surprised that he's still alive, Ralph Nader. I had not heard from Ralph Nader in a long time. He billed himself as a consumer advocate, but he was really a left-wing, I guess he still is because he's alive, a left-wing socialist. He was like Bernie Sanders in the 80s and 90s. And he's all in the news today. I'm not going to play you the audio, but Ralph Nader says Trump's address was a declaration of war against the American people, including Trump voters. Now, they got this false narrative going on that they're trying to get steam to, that Trump voters are regretting their vote, and he's attacking us, and he's hurting us, and we're upset with him. There's no such person, There's no such person. Trump voters, not only are we in an incredible state of excitement over everything Trump's doing, he's doing more than any of us could have envisioned. But Ralph Nader, you got to love this guy. Ralph Nader was responsible for George W. Bush winning Florida in 2000. And what remember everybody talks about the Bush-Gore race, and Bush won Florida by just like a couple hundred votes, right? Ralph Nader was running as a third-party liberal with the Green Party, and he got 80,000 votes in Florida. Those were all Democrat votes. And I remember this. Ralph Nader's an idiot. Oh, man. So so it was on the ballot in Florida in 2000 for president. It was George W. Bush, Al Gore, and Ralph Nader with the Green Party. And it was so close. And and Ralph Nader got 80,000 votes, all of them liberal Democrats, of course. And the Democrats, that was the Hanging Chad's election. The Democrats were pushing this thing called they wanted to have a revote. They were really pushing this. Real top Democrats wanted to have a revote in Florida and keep Ralph Nader out of it because they wanted to count Ralph Nader's votes as Gore votes. It was beautiful. So people will be talking about Ralph Nader today, but he saved us from Al Gore. Not that Bush was great and it was a lying war criminal and all, but if 9/11 still would have happened, and what would have Al Gore's response been to 9/11? I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. Now, if Al-Qaeda would have taken out a California redwood, he probably would have unleashed our nuclear arsenal. But killing people, well, there would have been no response to 9/11 with Al Gore. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, I hit the wrong line. Okay, there you are. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Okay. President Trump wants to dismantle the Board of Education, the Education Department. Great. He certainly does. But I think the main problem is colleges, man. These colleges take advantage of people by making somebody, you want to become a doctor, but yet you have to take these classes that are night classes, but they're really wasting your time. Really got to, I think.
So your kids have started college and you're paying for it?
Oh yeah, man.
Okay. See, how did I know? What classes? What classes are you upset about?
Well, anything that she wants to be, my daughter wants to become a doctor. Okay, so she has to take chemistry and she has to take biology. Okay, that's great. But what the hell is she taking physics for, and Spanish and world?
Hey, I'm not gonna. Well, some of those are electives, in the social sciences. I told you I almost didn't graduate college because of the foreign language requirement. You have to have 2 semesters of a foreign language to get a college degree in the state of Florida. And the last couple of classes I took were Spanish. I failed Spanish in high school. Now, not with every major, but with my major. And in fact, I wanted to go to graduate school I'd like to get a master's and a PhD in history. You have to display fluency in a foreign language to get the graduate degree in history. I couldn't even get through Spanish 1101 and 1102, and I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, that is what I'm talking about. That needs to be sure. What does that have to do with being knowing history? You know what I mean? They come up with these things. They take your time. It takes 4 years to go, and then you have to go to graduate school. They really should be more condensed.
It's a scam.
If you want to become an auto mechanic, you go to auto mechanic school. You don't learn about geography. You learn about auto mechanics.
The first 2 years of college are like high school over again. It's all high school courses.
Money wasted, time wasted. It doesn't make sense to me. But this is what I'd love to see them finally come up and figure something out to a better education system.
Yes.
The thing I just like to say is that black guy who called in and said Trump didn't do anything. I said it before. Day one, before Trump got elected, it was $82 a barrel for oil. The day President Trump took over, it was $77, and now it's $67 a barrel. So he reduced prices day one. He said he was going to do it. He did something.
Yeah.
Now everything else he's working on prices down, and now I'm sure everything's going to go down.
That's right. All right, I appreciate the call. Someone told me in our chat room that you could take a test and not take the foreign language. Yeah, you got to prove that you are fluent in the language, then you can skip the classes. I couldn't do that. Are you kidding me? I wanted to change my major if you're an education major, you don't have the foreign language requirement, but you have to do a semester of student teaching, and I work, so I couldn't do that. Oh boy, it's a mess. So I'll agree with Doug on that. Okay, if you're on hold, hang in there. We're going to take our first break of the second hour and be back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon, one of the DJs here at the True Oldies channel. Hope you're enjoying the Kane Show with Brian. And we want to remind you that at 10 this morning, the oldies are back. The greatest hits of the 60s and 70s right here on the True Oldies channel.
My name is Dr. Philip Appleton. I'm a chiropractic physician. Over the years, I've treated thousands and thousands of patients from bursitis, tendonitis, sciatica, stenosis, neuropathy, tears, post-surgery, pre-surgery, herniated disc, gout, bone on bone. If you can name the pain, most likely I've treated over the years. Most of my practice is laser with robotic lasers. They're robots which rotates constantly around the area, where most lasers do not do that. So if you want to come in for a free consultation, as always here, welcome at Appleton Chiropractic. I'm here 6 days a week. I personally do all the treatment. You can bring your MRIs, you can bring your x-rays, you can bring your CAT scans, whatever you have to bring for me to look at, I would do that free of charge.
Dr. Appleton right now for that free consultation. 954-973-0710.
If you're on hold, hang in there.
954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 40 years, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who are protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Hey, my cool oldies listeners, John Tesh here with some intelligence for your retirement this time. When you're looking for a retirement advisor, you know trust and experience are two big qualities to look for. And as it turns out, my friend Jupiter Joe Thomas possesses both of these. Whether you're in retirement or looking to retire, I want you to give local expert Joe Thomas a call. Here's the number, 561-743-0999. Or, even simpler, you can go to jupiterjoe.com. Mention my name, John Tesh. You'll receive a free copy of Joe's book, Retirement Know-It-All. Great book. Call 561-743-0999. Or remember, go to jupiterjoe.com. That's jupiterjoe.com.
This is John from White House Medical Center, and we've been able to help a lot of patients. We want to be able to help you with your neuropathy issues as well. You have numbness, burning, pain, tingling, lack of sleep, or balance issues, please come see us and let us help you with that problem. There's hope out there for you. We've had thousands of patients come through Lighthouse Medical Center. Being able to see the quality improved in their life and being able to help them and their family has been a blessing to us and a blessing to them. Call for a free consultation with us today. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754
Here we go.
222-6642.
All righty, we're 22 days away from our cruise, our 6th listener cruise, and I'm going to text Ian and see if there's any cabins have opened up because we sold it out. It sold out months ago. I'm going to text Ian during the next break and find out if there's any cabins available. Before I go back to the phones, I just want to say this with Newsom. Not only was Charlie Kirk played by Governor Newsom, it showed, and people say, oh, he can't win or anything else. He's never going to win us over, but I'm talking about Democrats, okay? It really shows how good Gavin Newsom is at manipulating people because Charlie Kirk is not stupid. He's very smart. I love this guy. He's awesome. But he was manipulated by Gavin Newsom. If he could, and you know what? Nobody knows this but me. I'm the only one that saw it. And if he can manipulate Charlie Kirk and he doesn't even know it, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. Chris from Pamela.
Hey, Chris.
No, 100%. I mean, I almost put that in my yearbook that the average American, particularly Democrat voter, was weak and easy to manipulate because I was part of DECA marketing, and we had some pretty good studies. So there's a lot of that involved. I remember when Obama once said, hey, they failed on something they were trying to sneak by the American people. And he says, oh, we got to communicate it better. In other words, make that lie really sound good. But Newsom, yeah, he's a snake. 100.
Oh yeah, and they know. Listen, the Democrats they show their hand all the time. They know that the transgender issue hurt them bad. Trump won a lot of the reason Trump did so well with the black and the Hispanics was over that because blacks and Hispanics, these are Christian demographics, okay? And that transgender thing turned a lot of Democrat voters to Trump. They know that. So this is the beginning of walking it back. I'm telling you. And Charlie Kirk helped.
So absolutely. And even some of my most liberal relatives, specifically my in-laws, the one thing they never, really gravitated to was anything to do with the LGBT stuff. 'Cause, she even had her own brother. She wouldn't. She was sort of a caterer as well. She wouldn't bake a cake for his wedding and other things, or even attend his wedding because he was marrying another man. So no. So
and this will sound like a stereotype, okay? But I'm going to say it anyway. A large percentage of African American men have done time, right? We know this. And they come out of prison and they're gay because of the prison life, and that's a big issue in the black community at all levels. The moral part of the community that's Christian, and then the crime people, they come home and they're gay or they're bi from the prison experience. It's it's an issue big with blacks. The black community as a whole is with Pat Robertson and all the rest when it comes to gay issues.
Oh, absolutely. And I did want to say on the education level, of course, there's a whole lot of manipulation there. But no, I went through the same thing. I mean, the only course I got C's in was my language course.
Oh.
Yeah, oh my goodness. And I always used to say, because my youngest son is in school now, he's 23, finishing up this last year. But education is a big business. I used to hate how they make one edit to a book.
Oh.
Pay another $200 for it.
Yeah, you can't sell it back or buy a used book because they update it. Yeah, exactly. I know, it's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible. It's a big scam.
It's a racket. And of course, who's running that? Liberals.
The reason that college education became a racket is because liberals, with the federal funding of college education, so they just jack up the prices. That's all. All right, appreciate the call, Chris. Take care. Good points. He sounds busy in the background. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you are out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. My name is Terry. I about forgot my name. That's terrible. And I am calling from
Georgia. Ohio.
Kentucky.
You sound like you're from Georgia. I was going to say Georgia.
Well, I'm originally from North Carolina. I'm a hillbilly from the Asheville area originally. So.
All right. So what's on your mind?
Anyway, I am kind of tired, and I know you are too. I am a MAGA supporter. Make America Great Again. I'm not a Trump worshiper by no means. He is just a man. But I tell you what, these people just need to understand what kind of state our country has been in over the last 4+ years as our friend President Biden, kind of derailed our country. So what my President Trump is trying to do is pretty simple. Things must go up to go down. We will get there eventually. Will it be as good as it was his first presidency? I don't know. Time will tell. But let's just support him. Mainly, let's pray for him. This is coming from a 21-year retired Army veteran. And let's throw this liberal idea of it's about the gays, it's about this, it's about that. No, it's about man and woman. Okay, it's about boy and girl. It's about safety of our athletes. I'm talking about the transgender community, safety of our children, and safety of our country. And another thing, Brian, I'm just saying, I'm going to let you know this. It's what I feel deep in my heart. I honestly think Mr. Zelensky and Mr. Putin are in this freaking thing together.
I would not be surprised. I'm going to ask you, I've asked this of a lot of it. You were in the military for 21 years and retired. What branch and rank did you retire at?
Yes, sir. I was a sergeant first class. I retired from the United States Army. I was in the Ordnance Corps.
Okay, so what's a sergeant first class thing? An E what?
It's an E7.
That's pretty high. And I ask this of a lot of veterans when they call. Nobody knows who you are. Okay. What do you get a month in your military pension? How much does it pay at an E7 rank, 21 years? I'm curious.
Well, I get about, I'm going to say about, and that's why I'm having to work. I'm a truck driver now. I get about $1,600 to $1,700.
That's it? See what I mean? These pensions are, the reason I ask, okay, these government pensions, especially for the military, are so low. I mean, I'm in shock. I mean, an E7, 21 years of service, $1,600 a month. You shouldn't even be taxed on that, by the way. It should be tax-free income. But that, the reason I ask, anytime I get a veteran who's served a long time and retired, I always ask what they get a month, and it's low. It's disgusting. It really is.
A lot of people don't understand this, although I don't pay what a lot of people pay for health insurance, but for me and my family, I have to pay about $600 a year for full coverage health insurance, but I still have to pay. That's the point. It's not much, but I still have to.
Well, what veterans should shut down the VA. Okay, the VA. There's a VA hospital down the street from the radio station. It looks like a prison. Okay, veterans should just have Medicare. They should give veterans Medicare. Shut down the whole VA. It's a terrible place. And I ask you this because I know the recruiters don't tell you how little the pension is, but after 21 years of service as an E7, now the officers, they do all right, but the enlisted men, you're screwed. And what did you do in the service? What was your job?
I was a Bradley Fighting Vehicle Systems mechanic. I was out there on the front lines working on those big. So you were, does that help you in civilian life, being a mechanic like that? You're a truck driver, not a mechanic. Can you be a mechanic in the civilian life and make a living when you're working on Bradley tanks or whatever? Well, the application, the know-how to be a mechanic does help you, but the money is not there unless you get all these different civilian ASE certifications and such.
See, and here's the thing. I don't want to discourage people from military service, but it's not, unless you're an officer, the retirement is awful, as you're hearing, and you don't really get a skill set that helps you outside of the service too much. It's really, you should have free health insurance and you should have a living pension after 21 years. I mean, come on. All right,
Seth, we'll change stuff.
Yeah. All right. Take care. Appreciate the call. $400 a week he gets. E7. 21 years of service. Come on. The firefighters, they live in Parkland and in Weston with their retirement. Right? Here in Florida. They don't even go up. We don't even have big buildings for most of them. All right. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon here on the Steve Kane Show with Amazing Brian. Just a reminder that at 10 this morning, we're back to the rock and roll music on the True Oldies channel.
From the All-Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation.
No, I think people are surprised at how little these guys make. I really do. I mean, it's just, it's not right.
On Saturday, it's going to be a high of 79 degrees and sunny. Saturday night, it'll be a low of 67 and mostly clear. Sunday morning and throughout the day, a high of 83 degrees and sunny. And then Sunday night, mostly clear with a slight chance of showers on a low of 71 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All-Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All-Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
There's a crash on 10th Avenue South at Dixie Highway and an accident Belvedere Road east of Military Trail. The emergency vehicle still on the scene of an earlier vehicle fire, Jog Road, approaching the turnpike. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line pound 250 keyword West Palm traffic. I'm Ron Hersey.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. It's showtime in the paddock with Splish Splash, the music of Bobby Darin on March 14th. Enjoy a delicious 3-course dinner, great songs, and a swinging band. Celebrate St. Patrick's Day with Celtic music by Gaelic.
Oh, okay.
All-you-can-eat Irish buffet, and don't miss comedian Patrick Putty Warburg March 20th. And then rock on with the Pure Zeppelin experience March 21st. Go to pbkennelclub.com.
When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Dental. Don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience with Dr. Gupta.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie, Dr. Gupta. I go 139 miles to this guy. I had a broken tooth. He fixed it. It was supposed to be temporary. It lasted 2 years. He put
to live longer and feel better, and you can, with a personalized wellness roadmap to guide this next chapter of your life. You owe it to yourself. Amrit Ocean Resort is now open on Singer Island, a next-generation luxury wellness resort merging Eastern principles and Western luxury. Integrated health offerings include targeted health assessments in personal wellness, nutrition, biowell energy flow, and metabolic fitness. Take a few days to let the experts at Amrit guide you, with services including pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, red light therapy, and dry flotation meditation. Fine dining is available at the Oceanfront Restaurant, Tula, unlike anything else in Palm Beach County. Experience their 4-story wellness spa with endless treatments designed to detox and relax. Explore all available offers at amritocean.com. That's AMRIT Ocean.com.
Men, just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel old. At the Bio Station, West LA, Dr. Mitch Matez, an expert in hormone replacement therapy, is here to help you reclaim your youth. Hormone replacement therapy is all natural and can restore your hormones to where they were in your 20s. You'll feel younger, have more energy, and even get your sex drive back. And for women, hormone replacement pellet therapy can completely stop and reverse the signs and symptoms of menopause. No more mood swings, better sleep, and no more night sweats. Call Dr. Matez for a free consultation today at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Brian Craig here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours.
We'll be back right after this, guys, so hang in there.
One of those big labs. That's why I do any lab test now with Paulette and any lab test now with Cold Springs for all of my lab work. Their techs are highly skilled and professional, and their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest on lab work you'll find anywhere. Appointments aren't necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions, they're not needed either. I'm in and out in 15 minutes or less. I get the results the next day in my email box. And they also do symptom management. There's lots of different test labs around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to Any Lab Test Now with Boca and Any Lab Test Now with Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now with Boca is in the Sandalwood Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, between Palmetto Park Road and Hillsborough Boulevard on the east side of State Road 7, 441. Any Lab Test Now at Coral Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood at Coral Square Mall. Call Any Lab Test Now at Boca at 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now at Coral Springs number is 954-906-5983. Don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 48 years on the air.
All right, we're back. 34 minutes after the hour on Open Mega Mic Friday. Friday is open phones. Any and everything on your mind's fair game on Friday's show. The other 4 days of the week, we try to keep you talking about the topics we bring up. But on Friday, the show prep is up to you guys. Let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Bob from Jupiter.
Hey, Jupiter.
Hey, I want to go. I rely on you because you're pretty good at math here.
Oh, no, I'm not.
60 million, if there's 60 million people with receiving Social Security right now, are supposed to be receiving, but 300 million are actually receiving it. Trump could go down in history if he can clean this up as saving Social Security, the whole program.
Well, we don't know how many are receiving. We know how many people are on the rolls, and they're investigating. But the money's going somewhere. It's part of some grift, some embezzlement going on. It's embezzlement going on with the Social Security money.
I've heard Trump. We talked about there's 4 million that are 100 to 109, and then another 3 million from 100, whatever it is, from 100.
Mm.
But are they actually receiving benefits? Or are they roll somewhere that?
They're investigating. We don't know, and we don't know where the money's going. Obviously, it's not going to people that age, but it could be going to some DNC or CIA slush fund. It's going somewhere.
Trump could go. I mean, and constantly talking about the Republicans taking down the Social Security, but he could actually save it if he can.
Could balance the budget.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing how much money is flowing out, and 60 million on Social Security sounds really high to me too. That's like what that.
There's 10 million. There's 10 million on the rolls that are over the age of 120.
Yeah, but actually getting a check.
They're investigating. We don't know yet. They don't make it easy.
No, they sure don't. But that 10 million, if only 16 million, I'd get in the weeds of the math, but only 16 million people are supposed to be getting a check. If they found 10 million that are getting checks that aren't supposed to, that would be plenty to save.
It sure would.
Even up the payment.
Now I was talking earlier about. Have you been to the Jupiter Lighthouse? You're calling from Jupiter.
Yeah.
Isn't it the coolest place? Everybody should go to the Jupiter Lighthouse. It's beautiful. Have you climbed up to the top?
And yes, and I'm not a historian, so I might not be completely accurate, but in the hurricane back in like 28 or something, the water got to the bottom of the lighthouse.
Yeah, that's the one that killed everybody in Okeechobee. That's why they built the dike around the lake.
When you're visiting the lighthouse and to know the water got up that high, that's pretty scary stuff.
It sure is.
Yeah, because when you're up there, it's pretty high.
Well, all the places we live in now used to be Lake Okeechobee, and they filled it all in, right? So that's right. Yeah, that's right. If anyone has not been to the Jupiter Lighthouse, go. It is so super cool, and I don't want to spoil it, but you know what I'm talking about. Go.
You're triggering my memory. Didn't the Confederates, they stole the mirrors out of there during the war?
They hid the light in the mirrors because they didn't want the Union. The Union Navy was off the coast of Jupiter because those Democrat slave owners, were running Florida at the time. That's correct. They did. You are right about that.
Yeah. There's a lot of history there. There's not much of that old history like that Civil War.
No, but it's the coolest lighthouse, and you get to go to the top of it, and it's right on the Jupiter Inlet. You have a view. You can almost see the Bahamas when you're up there, and it's amazing.
Thanks.
It's amazing. All right, take care. All right, yeah. They're not running ads on the radio station, but they should. Jupiter. Oh man. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes.
Morning. It's Frenchie from Stewart.
Hey, Frenchie.
Hey, I'm tired of these people protesting up there in New York. When are we going to start arresting people and deporting them?
They are. I just was reading a story today that a bunch of these Muslim Hamas protesters, that they're picking them up and deporting them, that they're losing their visas and everything. They're cracking down on that.
Well, I didn't see that. I watched Newsmax and Fox. I didn't see any of that.
Well, I don't know about Fox, but I'll see if I can pull it up during the break. No, I read an article about it this morning. I might have posted it on X. I'll look. But no.
If they don't belong in this country, if they don't have citizenship in here and they're protesting, they should just tell them to go home.
But Democrats, Bill Clinton, when he was running for president the first time, a big controversy came up. He was at a Vietnam War protest in England when he was in college over there. And so not only did he protested against the United States in a foreign country. And I remember people were so outraged, and now it's become the norm because the colleges are run by foreign professors. All right, appreciate the call. You made some good points, I must say. I got to tell you, this is amazing. I was talking to my wife yesterday, and I have not told anyone this but my wife. Okay, I've lost 25 pounds from Coastal Weight Loss Secret, right? And I told my wife what I weighed. This was the day before yesterday. I told my wife what I weighed and what I weigh now. I'm not telling you guys. I know, I'm not going to include it in the spot. I'm sorry. I don't mind telling you that I lost 25 pounds, but I'm not going to tell you where I was and where I ended up. And what had happened is I was across the hall from the radio station at Game Day Men's Health, and every once in a while they do like a little physical, and they did, and they weighed me. And when they weighed me, I was like embarrassed. I was embarrassed. I've never weighed so much in my life, and I don't think I was heavy. And they weighed me. I'm like, what? And I emptied out all my pockets and it didn't help, And I told my wife what I weighed before I started Coastal Weight Loss Secret and what I weigh now. And my wife told me this yesterday. My daughter is going to be 26 years old in a few days, a couple weeks. My wife told me that I now weigh what I weighed when my daughter was born 26 years ago. Isn't that something? That's crazy. That's crazy, and I know. And I was talking to Coastal Weight Loss Secret yesterday, and they said, okay, so what are you going to do? Are you, you hit your goal, you want to, start to just maintain that? And I said, I don't know. I'm going to think about it over the weekend. Maybe I want to keep going. Because, when I met with Dr. Zuckerman over at Coastal Weight Loss Secret, and the day I met with him was the day we did our inauguration event at Wings Plus. I went from Coastal Weight Loss Secret right to Wings Plus, and I started the program the following week. And he said, how much you want to lose? And I just said 25 pounds because it was, I'll tell you, I'm not going to tell you what I weighed and what I weigh now. I probably should for the spot. I'm not going to tell you. But it was I said 25 pounds, and because it got me to, it was a solid number, okay? It was a whole number that would get me to, an easy thing to monitor. And he says, well, when do you want to lose it by? And I said, well, we got our cruise on the 29th of March. He said, no problem. I said, well, okay. I didn't think it was possible. And I lost the 25 pounds almost a month early. So my wife's telling me that I weigh now what I weighed 26 years ago. Isn't that something? That is absolutely amazing. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call. Meet with Dr. Zuckerman. When you call, make sure you tell him you heard about them on the True Oldies channel. And again, I say this every time. I'm not taking any medication, and I'm not on Ozempic or anything, okay? I'm not doing any exercise. And I am the pickiest eater any of you have ever known. And I tell you something. I don't eat condiments. I only eat ketchup, barbecue sauce, and A1 steak sauce pretty much. I don't eat mustard. I'm just nothing. I am a picky eater. There's only a handful of things I eat, and still no problem at all. So give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call, 561-247-6300, 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. All right, we'll take a break and be back. All right, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Barry?
I'm good. I'm well. We have our Living Trust workshop coming up on Tuesday, next Tuesday, the 11th at 2 p.m. in our Boca Raton office. And what I wanted to talk about today regarding that is, we call it a Living Trust seminar, but it's much, much more than that, because all of the areas of law that we practice at the Siegel Law Group, estate planning, elder law, and probate, are all interrelated. So there's going to be a lot of information about, of course, estate planning, trusts, wills, powers of attorney, healthcare documents, all of the things that you need to know about it, the funding of it, the bloodline protection, probate avoidance, guardianship avoidance, all of that. But there's also going to be a lot of good information about protecting your assets during your lifetime with the long-term care issues, so that you make sure you don't run out of money before you run out of life. And that's really what elder law is, protecting your assets from the biggest threat you have as we age, the cost of long-term care, and also about probate, about what it is, how to avoid it. And so we cover all of that and much, much more. So if you want that education, if you're out there and you want that education so you can make the right decisions for you and your family, you need to come to one of our workshops.
Yeah, and I was at your workshop a couple weeks ago, and I was talking to one of our listeners. He had his revocable living trust done with you a number of years ago. He was going back to have it updated, and this was like the second or third time he had it updated. And he told me there were some changes with his adult children. I can't remember if it was a marriage or divorce, but there was a change with his adult children, and he was updating the trust again. And he'd done it. This was at least the second, maybe the third time, because his family situation changes. And he was very. He said that the updating process it's like seamless, very easy for him.
We will, for our clients, we automatically reach out to them every 3 years for a free review, and that way we can keep in touch, make sure that they're on track to have a plan that's going to work for them when it needs to work. When is that going to be? At the time of either incapacity or at the time of passing. That's the estate plan that matters. So we want to make sure it's up to date because laws change, situations change, and as you just mentioned, personal situations change. Marriages, divorces, deaths, births, things.
That's right. So listen, give the Siegel Law Group a call. Now remember, it's a no-charge consultation with the Siegel Law Group if you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the program, all right? And they can help no matter where you are in the state of Florida. The toll-free number is 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. That's 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk next week. Okay, we are back, and our number 1-888-465-2631. So I got an actual written letter from a listener, Patrice, in Lake Clark Shores, Florida. And people do send me letters here to the radio station, and anytime you send a letter, I'm going to read it. Because I get a lot of emails and DMs, and I can't get through all of those. But I try, and I do answer as many as I can. In fact, when I get off the air every day, I immediately answer DMs and emails from you guys, as many as I can. But a letter, you don't get as many letters because people don't really write them. And Patrice, it's about Ukraine and Russia and the war, and I wanted to share some of it with you. And I got to tell you, this woman knows this was not done on Microsoft Word, okay? And I said that she knows how to write letters. It's a business letter, and it's written like a business letter. I haven't seen one of these from an individual in a long, long time, and it's even got a hand. It's amazing. This is like letter writing is a lost art. But she was talking about the Don Boss, I got to say it slow because it sounds like dumb, something else. The Donbass region in Ukraine. Now, this is an area that Russia has taken as part of Ukraine. And Zelensky, no peace until we get Donbass back. But this is what she told me, Patrice. And I don't know if this is true. You guys can let me know. But she says in 2014, Ukraine was bombing Donbass. They fired cluster munitions on several occasions into the heart of the major city in Donbass. And that's crazy. There were 10,000 casualties in the major city in Donbass. Ukraine did that. And she says Donbass wants to be part of Russia. Russia went to war because Donbass does not want to be Ukrainian. I did not know that. I'm not an expert on Ukraine, and it's just that we're getting ripped off, and it's none of our business, and we shouldn't be there. It's a civil war. But this is an interesting thing because Zelensky has his foot down about Donbass, and looks like it's really not theirs, and it shouldn't be. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Jerry.
Okay.
Brian, you said you answer emails, right?
As much as I can, not always, but I get too many sometimes. But yes, I do. What?
I don't know where to see your email address.
Well, you can figure it out. What do you want to email me?
Sometimes I just want to send you some information that I don't like.
Nah, I don't. Those are the ones I don't like. When people send me emails, that's why I just give it out. Emails of articles and stuff. I don't have time to. Honestly, I don't have time to go through all that. There are people that send me so many articles every day. I miss the emails I'd like to see. But I'd rather you just call. If it's something you want to share, that's what the phone calls are for.
Okay, well, let me run this by. Well, this is Friday, right? Okay.
Open phones, yes.
Do you know who Catherine Austin Fitts is?
Catherine Austin Fitts? No.
Yeah, Fitts.
No.
She was the Assistant Secretary of HUD for Bush 1.
Okay.
And she did she discussed, and she goes on and on. She's been going on and on about this for many years. She wrote reports and about the 21, get this number, missing $21 trillion. And she said that $21 trillion of missing stuff money became part of our $36 trillion in debt.
Mm-hmm.
She many videos on it. She wrote reports to Congress and all kinds of stuff. And she was going to write a book about it, and she was threatened. Her family was threatened, and she was poisoned. And
Oh, they killed her?
they didn't kill her, but she moved out of the country. She was like Denmark or something like that.
Mm.
But she still talks about it.
Her last name is spelled Fitz, like Fitts or Fits. I'll look her up.
Yeah, Catherine Austin Fitz.
I'll look it up. That sounds interesting. Well, you know, here's the thing.
I wanted to say.
No. This sounds too complex. This sounds like a whole bunch of stuff. No, you told me enough. I'll Google it. I'll look it up.
So if Doge was to look into what happened to the $21 trillion.
I don't know. I know that the Bush family was pretty wealthy and they worked for the government their whole lives. How'd they get so rich? Remember they had the place in Massachusetts, then they had the place in Texas, right? I mean, you know, this is the thing. You know, I'm talking to that retired Army sergeant, gets $1,600 a month, E7, 21 years of service, $1,600 a month. You see these federal workers in the bureaucracy are elected officials, millionaires all. You know, and you wonder, how do they make the money? They're stealing the federal money. And what they do, I appreciate the call, by the way. I give you an example. Listen to this story. This is in Breitbart today. John Podesta's slush fund. This is in Breitbart today. John Podesta, Biden's top climate czar, was in charge of doling out $375 billion in climate change spending, which had been sent to many charities that were founded only months before. New York Post reports, the Biden administration funneled at least $20 billion into environmental groups, most of which had only recently been founded. In one case, Kamala Harris handed over a check for nearly $7 billion to Bethesda, Maryland-based Climate United Fund, which does not appear on the IRS charities database and has no federal findings. It goes on and on. They're stealing all the money. Okay? They're stealing all the money. And the climate, you know, people talk about the climate scam. The climate scam isn't just the lying about the weather. It's these fake green companies that are getting all this money. None of them do anything. They're fake groups. And that's why people inside the government are so rich. And, you know, there's something to be said about people's clothes. You meet people that are elected officials. They have the nicest clothes you've ever seen. They're tailored oftentimes. Tailored. I buy my suits at the Men's Warehouse and they alter them for me, okay? I mean, you know, that's the way it is. And since I don't wear them except on our cruise or at Mar-a-Lago, they last me a long, long time. But yeah, they're like tailored. They're stealing our money. It's all a scam. And that's why there's so much panic. And I'll tell you this. There's a story out there. President Trump is so smart. There's a story out there that Donald Trump has told Elon Musk to lay off. Did you see this when it comes to Doge? I suspect that's a cover. That's a cover story. They want the Trump administration, Elon Musk and Doge, they want these people in the bureaucracy to think that Elon's not looking into them. It's easier to catch them. They're probably destroying records and having a difficult time doing the things they got to do because Elon's on their case. So if they think they're off the case, they'll stop destroying records. Oh, did anyone see the Tucker Carlson interview with that what's the crypto thief that's in prison with P. Diddy? I saw that interview yesterday. It's pretty interesting. You get a chance to watch it. Check it out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Sherry from Florida. You think of, I have two questions. I think of Coney Barry. Do you think Trump feels, boy, I got taken advantage of that one? She must be compromised somehow.
Yeah, he's probably not. I'm sure he's not happy with her.
I mean, God, I wish they could get rid of her. And they're there for life.
She's there for life, and she's my age, so she'll be there for a long time.
Was it Rhino McConnell made her? Did he actually pick her, or did he have, okay, you should pick
No,
her?
Trump picked her. He just got some bad advice there. Yeah, she's obviously a bushy. But going after Amy Coney Barrett like we're all doing, I mean, I have too. She's never going to be with us now. She's going to hate us so much. She's going to side with the liberals a lot more because people are talking bad about her that are MAGA. It actually makes it worse for us if we keep talking about her.
Face she gave? Now that's what I'm saying. That when he
Well, it's like I said yesterday. She almost killed the president. She gave him COVID, and he almost died from that. He had it really bad.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible.
That may have been the first assassination attempt on the president, for all I know. Maybe that's why they pushed her on him. Maybe they pushed her on him to give him COVID. I wouldn't be surprised, would you?
No, I think it's a shame because he needs another Clarence Thomas.
Clarence Thomas will retire during President Trump's term, so he can appoint someone.
Well, no, I like Clarence Thomas.
Yeah, but he's old. He's been there since Bush won. He's got to retire at some point. All right, what's your second thing you had?
With the I watched that. I watched that interview with what's his name?
Gavin Newsom and Charlie Kirk. Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, he's slimy, Newsom. God.
Oh yes.
I don't know how people. I just don't know. I think he was. I don't know what Kirk. I don't think Kirk was doing it like. Well, he'd probably look back and say, "Shit, I should have helped him out."
She said shoot. By the way, she said shoot. Yeah, she said shoot. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shoot. I helped him out. No, I don't think so. I don't think Charlie Kirk is aware of what he did. I think Gavin Newsom is a total sleazeball con man, and he played Charlie Kirk so well. Charlie Kirk doesn't even know it.
When he looks back on the interview, he'll be like, "Oh God, I don't know who else is he gonna entice to come out?" He said he wants MAGA.
A lot. They do a routine. That's Andrew Tate. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Andrew Tate over there. He was on with Patrick Bet-David yesterday. Andrew Tate. I tell you guys, I appreciate the call. I had an opportunity to go and see Andrew Tate fly into Fort Lauderdale the other day, and I didn't do it. He flew into Fort Lauderdale when him and his brother. I could have been over there with the rest of the press, and I didn't go. That guy has nothing to do with the MAGA conservative movement, and a lot of conservative people in media embrace Andrew Tate because he's so famous on social media around the world. It brings them views. And that's just not, they're clout chasers. We don't want anything to do with him. There's a Republican club here in Florida that have him and his brother as guest speakers. Andrew Tate should not be anywhere near any of our people. All right, we're going to take our break for the top of the hour. 2 hours down, 1 to go. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the top and be right back. Okay.
He said Monday works at 13 hours.
Okay.
But it was supposed to be Tuesday.
Sounds good.
But then he said he can't do Tuesday.
Okay.
So he asked if we could do Wednesday instead.
Okay.
So it'd be Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Monday, 8:30. I mean, I'll remember. But
okay.
Monday, 8:13, and then Wednesday through Friday, the 7:43.
Okay.
Tap the brakes northbound on the turnpike between Lake Worth Road and Southern Boulevard. There are delays southbound 95, Lantana Road to Woolbright Road. Spot something on the roads, call.
Hey, it's Brian.
pound 250.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to put you on hold. Hold on.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. This March, go for the green and the polka
Tiger now, where police say someone shot at a pet foot dealership.
$1,000 cash drawing. Check out new daily tournaments, bad beat jackpots, and table games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em and 3-card poker with just a $5 minimum. PBKC is the only place in Palm Beach County to watch, wager, and win on exciting OTB action. Check out all the ways to win at pbkennelclub.com.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those big labs. Go to any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor could order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit any lab test now of Boca at any lab test now of Coral Springs. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone. I do tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
On the air since 1977.
Alrighty, we're back, and it's time to check in with Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, who's going to tell you how he can save you lots of money on your electric bill for the rest of the time you live in your home. Scott, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's nice and cool and crisp out there right now, but soon the dog days of summer are going to be upon us, and your air isn't going to be able to keep up, and it's going to be running all day and all night, just trying to keep the house cool. You can cut that AC run time literally in half by putting in radiant barrier and reflecting the energy from the sun back out the roof, lowering the temperature of the attic 30 or 40 degrees. And right now you can save like 39 cents a foot on radiant barrier. Get it for only $1 a foot. If you need insulation, instead of spending $1.19 a foot, you can spend $1 a foot, saving 19 cents a foot, about 20% on that, 40% on the radiant barrier. Literally cuts your electric bill. Insulation will cut your electric bill 10%, but insulation and radiant barrier together will cut it 30 to 40%. And if you have insulation, we can just do the radiant barrier part. We don't have to do them both.
The other day, you and I were talking, and you were talking about the damage that spray foam stuff does to people's roofs and the rafters.
Well, if it's done right, it's not a bad problem. The real problem is the insurance companies are no longer insuring the houses.
That's right.
If they get a roof leak, they've got to tear off the whole roof and all the rafters and everything, and instead of costing only $60 to $100,000 to repair the roof, it ends up in the hundreds of thousands.
It's a new house. After you said that, I got a call from Tom Laporta, our roofer, and he said he says you could quote me. He says that is the truth. It is you're really taking a risk with that spray foam.
I've done some work with Tom. He's a really good guy.
He is. Now, he sure is. The thing about the radiant barrier, Scott has been with us for 15 plus years here on the Steve Kane Show. And he's offering a special in the month of March. And the reason that is today it's a little chilly. The attics are like 130 degrees when the sun's at the normal temperature here in Florida. And when the weather's a little cooler, it saves Scott quite a bit on his labor costs because the crew can be in the attic longer and they get the job done a lot faster. So that labor savings he passes on to you. So that's why there's a discount going on right now in the month of March. Now I'm going to give you Scott's number. This number rings directly to Scott's cell phone number. If he doesn't answer, he'll call you back. Sometimes you call me back when I'm about to leave you a voice message, Scott, when I call your cell phone.
I try to be quick. I'm 954-939-1500. And remember the other things. We do ductwork too. And now's the cheapest time to get your ductwork done because they're about $400 a run right now. In the summer, they're $600, and the AC companies are charging double that.
That's right. That's right. Give Scott a call. Again, his number, 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. That is his cell phone. All right, Scott, we'll talk next week.
President Trump.
That's right. That's right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
John and Del Rey, good morning. Man, you're looking good, Brian. That diet's working for you.
25 pounds. My wife told me yesterday that I weigh what I weighed when my daughter was born 26 years ago.
I remember that. I remember when she was born. In fact, I've been listening to Steve Kane since 1977 or 8, something.
Oh my goodness! From the beginnings.
When he was a flaming liberal.
Oh, no doubt. Do you remember the urine lady?
Oh yeah.
Oh my! Steve used to have this lady on. This was great. She was a health nut. She used to drink her own urine. And she told people that all the great benefits of drinking your urine. Good, I don't think so.
You brought back memories. Wow. I got one request and then I got a question for you.
Uh-oh. That was the setup. Now he's going to take me down.
Oh no. It's I've been dying to go to Barry Siegel's workshops, and there's a lot of us old farts out there that are still working to make up for our wife's spending habits. So
yes.
Maybe you can ask him if he would have a workshop in the evening sometime for us guys that can't make it during the day. That would be awesome.
Okay, I'll run it by him. That's not a bad idea. I'll run it by him. You would go? Okay, I'll run it by him.
One thing I read somewhere on the Newsmax or one of the good websites that Zelensky was talking about having Trump come to Paris to sign this mineral deal.
Trump's not going to walk across the room. Okay? I mean, sign the deal. Zelensky should sign the deal and mail it to Trump. Okay? Enough of this meeting and going places.
I agree. Not only that, there's so many people trying to whack him.
He's not going to sign the deal. He doesn't want to sign. If Trump went to Paris, he wouldn't sign it.
I agree. I would agree with that.
All right, take care. I appreciate the call. Long time listener. The urine lady. Anybody? Am I the only one that remembers the urine lady? Oh my goodness. Ugh. There were some other nuts too, but that's the one I remember the most. Where is this? Putin's so smart. The French said that they're going to put French troops on Ukrainian soil, boots on the ground. And Putin, he said this in Russian, so I'll just read it to you. He says France wants to return to the time of Napoleon's invasion, but they forget how it ended. Exactly. I mean, what is Macron talking about? What is he talking about? Why do they have such an interest in expanding a war in their own neighborhood? It is insane. And Europe's gonna do what Europe wants to do. A lot of it, I've been telling you guys that Putin doesn't want Europe. Okay? He doesn't want Europe. Why? No one wants Europe. It's a tourist trap that's a caliphate. It's nothing but trouble. But Europe thinks they're the center of the world still. So, the Europeans want to think that people want to conquer them. No one wants. You've already been conquered by the Islamic people. That's why I was telling you, was it yesterday or the day before, they were playing some Muslim call to prayer or something honoring Ramadan in Parliament. And this went viral on X, and people were saying, Europe's been conquered without a military invasion, just immigration through their open borders. So no, this is nobody wants you, Europe. Okay, they're very self-important. Now, I wanted to share this with you. This is a local news story out of Oregon. Listen, this is the left.
To Tigard now, where police say someone shot at a Tesla dealership overnight. Employees discovered the damage this morning. At least 3 cars were hit and windows were broken. One bullet even went through an office wall and hit a computer. Fortunately, no one was there at the time. The shooting is believed to have happened just before 2 a.m. No details yet on a suspect or description.
Okay, now no Tesla Cybertruck windows were broken because those are bulletproof windows on the Cybertrucks. And I saw a couple of other stories of Teslas being vandalized in the last 48 hours. And I'm playing this off the local news in Oregon. There's not a national story. If Elon Musk was still a Democrat and he was supporting climate change and some MAGA person shot up a Tesla dealership, the news media would stop. They don't even want to report the news, okay? And the liberals look at this. You know who they blame for this shooting? You know who they blame? They blame Elon Musk. It's like he deserves it. You know, these are really sick, twisted people, but they call us the violent ones. They call us the dangerous ones. Come on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Scott. I'm from Kansas City.
Scott, what's up?
Yeah, hey, been listening to you. My local talk radio not doing too good, so I'm listening to you. I'm a talk fan. One thing I wanted to request from you, if you could, is what I'm hearing is a lot of Doge counter narrative, the bad things, the bad results, the propaganda about what ill effects Doge is having. And what I want to hear is the counter narrative to that narrative. And I'm not hearing it.
Which is what? What's the counter narrative that you're not hearing? I really don't get what you mean. I mean, we're talking about what the waste is being exposed. That's the narrative.
Yeah, but then you'll hear about, and I heard this morning the mayor of Denver saying how they're taking in refugees and how we're doing just fine. I'm hearing about how Trump is cutting off the satellite support and intel to Ukraine, and now they're open to attack.
That's good. No, what Trump did. That's good news. Yeah, we're no longer sharing intelligence with Ukraine, so they can't target their rockets into Russia. Okay, because we're not giving. So that's good news. So they're not launching rockets into Russia anymore. We don't want them to launch rockets into Russia. We want to end the war. That's good.
Effective is now Russia can attack and kill Ukrainians. That's the counter narrative. So what I'm wanting to hear is the.
Well, I'm not in the talking points, which is what you are. You know, as conservatives, we're not into talking points. You know, and what you're talking about are talking points. No, everything that if you want to use that term counter narrative, you're hearing it. I mean, this is so what if Russia is not going to escalate? Russia wants to end this war.
Yeah, and do they really? Well,
yes.
I want to hear that. And I'm hearing crazy stuff about England and France wanting to intercede in that war, which is not that they can't afford it. They're in bad shape, and they've done that before in the 1840s with pretty bad results. It was called the Crimean War.
Yeah, they got wiped out in that. They were it was like Dunkirk.
Yeah, well, I had a relative who was in the charge of the Light Brigade.
Oh, okay. The movie or the actual event?
Huh? Not the movie.
I know. I'm kidding. I know you didn't mean they were in the movie. I'm just kidding. Hey, listen, but I got to run, but I appreciate the call. All right, you made some good points. So that's why this show should be nationally syndicated. I'm telling you, shouldn't. I mean, I know with our online presence we kind of are, but here's a guy. You hear these callers from around the country. He says he likes radio, but the radio in Kansas City sucks. So he's listening to me here in Palm Beach Gardens. We should be on in every market in the country. I agree. All right. Let's take our first break of the third hour. Our number 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott, the DJ here at the True Oldies Channel, smack dab in the middle of the Steve Kane Show with Brian. And a reminder we're back to the rock and roll oldies at 10 a.m. this morning, right here on the True Oldies channel.
This is Dr. Phil Appleton. I'm a chiropractic physician. I've seen thousands and thousands of patients in my career. I've been a chiropractic physician here in Pompano Beach for 40 years. We're open 6 days a week. If you have sciatica, you have bursitis, you have tendonitis, you're tired of taking the pills, the drugs, the injections, and you heard that you have to live with it, well, there's a lot of times you don't have to live with it. I've had great success with helping people. My testimonials are marvelous with patients. They love the treatment. There's no injections. There's no medication. There's no surgery. There's none of that. It's strictly either the laser, the acupuncture I do, or shockwave therapy I do. Open 6 days a week. Come in for the free consultation and be willing to look at you and help you.
Take advantage of that no-charge consultation with Dr. Appleton. Remember, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com.
The price of gold stocks is not leveraged against the rising prices of the physical metals. Consider buying these stocks while they're still at their lows. Listen to the Ellis Market Report at Money Talk Radio, weekdays at 9:30 a.m. on your True Oldies channel.
Brian here. Right now, Mike Lindell at MyPillow is offering his first ever mega sale. With our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, you can save big money on top MyPillow products, the MyPillow sheets, the MyPillow 6-piece towel set, the MyPillow that started it all, and much, much more. And free shipping on all orders. That's right, free shipping on all orders with our promo code KANE at checkout. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, here in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, we're back. Open Mega Mike Friday. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Louise, the masculine Boca.
Hey, Louise.
Hi. I was at a current events class yesterday, and the Democrats are practically crying that he is going to cut funding for Medicaid, for nursing homes, and poor people. And they're saying about the young little boy, at the address, that, one person, but meanwhile he's cutting cancer
Yeah.
research. Do they get the...
Well, first off, let me ask you. You said you were at a current events class yesterday. Where was this class at? It's like in Boca? It's like a retirement community?
No, well, it was at our senior center.
Oh, my goodness. Who was leading this garbage, this propaganda? Like, who were they? What were they?
No, our moderator was in the middle. He tries to...
What, did they bring in guest speakers? I mean, how does this brainwashing happen of our seniors?
No, the people raise their hand, the senior Democrats, and they're saying, they're practically crying that he's cutting all this aid to Medicaid and so on.
Well, first off, they're not even on Medicaid because they have Medicare, right? They're seniors, but President Trump is cutting Medicaid off to illegals from other countries that should not even be having it, but not to Americans.
Yes, and they're saying that nursing homes, because once you run out of money in a nursing home, you do go on Medicaid.
Correct. Yes. That's not being cut. We talk about it all. I was talking about that earlier with Attorney Barry Siegel. That's part of what he does. I mean, it's amazing to me how these talking points from the left, liberals pick up on. I was talking yesterday, my lawn guy was like in a panic talking to me about the import taxes from Canada. I mean, come on.
Yes, but especially seniors are so upset about hearing this. And cancer research.
Sam.
Where did you...
Well. Here's what you got to understand. You and I live in Boca, surrounded by liberal Democrats that are retired from New York.
Happens to be in Delray.
Same thing. Delray, Boca. They just aren't as rich as the Boca retirees, But that's it. It's the same people, New Yorkers that are retired to Florida. That's Delray. That's Boca.
What I want to ask, was there any talking points that we heard where he's cutting anything?
Yeah, this is what you do. You tell them about me, and you have them listen to me.
Yeah, well, I said I've never heard anything that he's cutting for nursing.
Okay, you do with that. You do with them what you hear me do with callers. Okay, you ask them to give an example of someone they know who's had their Medicare or Medicaid cut.
Well, not yet. But
Not yet. They'll never be able to give you an answer because it's not happening.
Well, that's what I said. I said, where did you folks get the notion that he's doing this?
Okay, and what was the reaction to you?
No answer at all, of course.
Mm-hmm. All right. Good to talk to you, Louise. Yeah, I met Louise at Barry Siegel's seminar. I have no idea what she looks like. She's wearing the mask. She comes up to me. She says, "Do you know who I am?" I said, "You're Louise the Mask Lady." "How do you know?" "Because you're the only one here with a mask." She's like a Muslim woman. All right? She's practically in a burqa. You're on the... And you know what she did? She hugged me. So if she's such... I should have asked next time she calls. If she's such a germaphobe, why'd she hug me? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Lynn from Boyne.
Oh, by the way, before Lynn, who is that? I forgot her name. Who's the Republican House member that tried to press her boobs up against President Trump at the State of the Union night? What is her name? I forgot her name. Do you know what I'm talking about? She was raped when she was in military school. You know what I'm talking about? And she's got big boobs, and when President Trump was coming by, she went in to hug him and to push her boobs up against him. She was trying to sexually assault him, and President Trump made Nancy Mace. Thank you very much, Nancy Mace. Did you see this video?
I didn't.
Oh, you got to watch it. I'll let you talk about what you called about. Let me finish. So Nancy Mace, she's huge boobs, and she's a pervert. She was a couple years ago. She was speaking to a Christian group, and she told them how she had sex that morning with her boyfriend. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So she goes up to hug Trump. She wants to push her humongous boobs up against him. He took her left hand and grabbed it and moved her, and then leaned over so she couldn't do it. I've never seen a guy with a boss move like that. And it was pretty classy. She was trying to sexually assault and violate him, Nancy Mace, and he stopped her. It was amazing.
About time he's doing stuff like that, so you don't read about what her move was the next day. He would be to blame for it.
Exactly. I know, Nancy Mace. She knew exactly what she was doing, Nancy Mace. She's a MAGA Republican, but she's a pervert.
I was going to say it, but I didn't know if that word was allowed.
Yeah, pervert. You can say pervert. Yeah.
Well, on a lighter note, I wanted to let you know that I just received my 7th and 8th set of Mike Lindell sheets.
Oh.
And but only this time we got flannel ones, which we had never had. And I got one for my husband for Christmas. He loves them. Oh my God! And especially with the cold days and nights we've been having the last few months in Florida. So I got 2 more. I send them to my friends for Christmas now, and they just love them. Absolutely love them.
In fact, right now the flannel sheets are on special, huge discount with our promo code Kane. Yeah, I have the flannels too, and like the regular sheets, they keep you're like Goldilocks. They keep you the same temperature all night long.
Yes, and they fit because we have that 3-inch topper that you had mentioned a long time ago. So we got those on the bed. And when the sheets just fit really perfect now when you have that on there, so they don't move around and get all messy underneath you. So perfect. This has a great product.
The thing with Mike Lindell sheets, all of them, I have the flannel too. I got a couple sets of the flannel. The fitted sheet at the bottom fits perfectly on the mattress, and every other sheet you can't get the 4 corners on. and it's almost impossible. But with Mike, even after having them for years and washing them, I don't know how many times, they still fit perfectly.
Absolutely. Hey, one more thing, Brian, I wanted to ask you. Have you ever heard about the, what do you call them, like the casinos in Ukraine?
No.
Okay, so a friend of mine a few weeks ago mentioned that, and I said, well, I've never heard about it. So I kind of looked it up, and so they have in Ukraine 20 at least. I'm talking like Las Vegas type casinos.
Still operating in Ukraine?
Yes. And one of them is called Billionaires. One is Hyperdome, horse racing ones. You've got a Monaco Polka, First, Odessa, Kiev, all these names. And when I looked them up inside, they are beautiful, these things. It's not just some back wall.
And they're operating today?
Yes, they are. So I wasn't even sure now how big Ukraine is. Where are they? Because I see.
It's like, I think, I don't know if I've heard people say it's the size of Australia or Texas, but it's big. It's big.
Well, they're somewhere on the other side where all the demolition isn't happening and all the killing in the war.
And I bet you if what you say is true, I bet you the casinos are filled with government workers gambling our tax money.
Well, you know, the thing is, too, when he said, I don't even know where half the money went, well, I'm thinking, well, that could be a reason.
They may, if the casinos are in operation, which I don't know. First I've heard of this is from you. It's probably part of the way they launder the money.
Because I saw the pictures, I went up, and they do have photos of these places and information. And one of the things on it says, before you come here, make sure, in other words, they're saying, don't come here, Americans. Don't come here because of the threat of everything.
It reminds me, there was, you're in Florida. Where are you at in Florida?
I'm in Boynton Beach.
Okay. Luckily we passed an ordinance where the homeless can't panhandle on intersections. But you remember a few years ago, there were panhandlers on every intersection in Palm Beach. And one of the things that turned it around is there was a panhandler who was one of the more well-known grifters, and someone got pictures of him at the Coconut Creek Seminole Casino at the tables. Yes! And he was dressed a lot nicer, and it was on this Facebook group about it. Yeah, he was, and it was, so I bet you, if what you said is true, and I don't know, but I'll look it up. I bet you they gamble with American dollars, not whatever the Ukrainian currency is.
And these people, I do remember when at one point the panhandlers were, you could have 3 or 4 of them when you come off the exit. There'd be 3 or 4 of them right in a row, and most people would give them money. I would never give them money. I might turn around somewhere and buy them some coffee and give them a coffee or something. But these people, when you see them, my mother used to say, I wonder where they hid their Mercedes.
Some of them were doing pretty well. The guy at the Seminole Casino, he was one of the Boca panhandlers. I don't give them 10 cents, and I don't give them. I was part of the group of people that advocated to get that law against the panhandling, and I was surprised because I figured the ACLU would stop it. And what would happen is, I would be at the intersection by my house. There would be a panhandler at every 4 corners, every intersection, and it was embarrassing. People would come over, and they like, Brian, where are you living? There's 4 panhandlers at the intersection. It was embarrassing.
One time I came out of a restaurant, she asked me, hey, you think you might be able to help me out? And I said, no, and she goes, I said, I only have a couple of bucks and I need it, and she goes, well, there's an ATM right over there.
Oh my goodness.
You go to an ATM and go get your money. I said, sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right, you're probably going to be on the next My Pillow commercial, just so you know, okay? Because okay, just to let you know. All right, we'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon here on the Steve Kane Show with Amazing Brian. Just a reminder that at 10 this morning, we're back to the
Oh, it's pretty cool.
Cousin's coming down for the week.
Oh, it's really cool. Oh yeah, it's neat. Oh, it's really cool. It's really cool, yeah. Because it's like you can go all the way up to the top, and it's got the old. it still works. It's got the light up there from the 1800s in it. It's really, and the view's amazing. Yeah.
This weekend's a definite must.
Yeah.
I don't go to Jupiter up north often, so that's why I haven't been there. So.
Yeah, they only let so many people up to the top at a time because it's you get to walk around that thing on the outside. It's really cool.
And now, a true oldies traffic check, brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Emergency vehicles are blocking the right lane eastbound on Indiantown Road just past the Turnpike. There are delays on the Turnpike northbound from Lakewood Road to Southern Boulevard. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line, pound 250 keyword West Palm Traffic. I'm Ron Hersey.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Showtime in the paddock with Splish Splash, the music of Bobby Darin on March 14th. Enjoy a delicious three-course dinner, great songs, and a swinging band. Celebrate St. Patrick's Day with Celtic music by Gaelica and an all-you-can-eat Irish buffet. And don't miss comedian Patrick Putty Warburton March 20th. And then rock on with the Pure Zeppelin experience March 21st. Go to pbkennelclub.com.
If you're a homeowner or with a homeowners association and your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. Laporta Roofing has been in the roofing and construction business since 1984, with thousands of roof installations and thousands of satisfied customers. Did you know that in the state of Florida, you can open a roofing company and borrow someone else's license? Tom Laporta is the holder of his roofing and general contractor's licenses, not like the other companies that borrow other people's licenses. So be sure who you're dealing with. Tom Laporta and his team are honest, knowledgeable, and reliable, and he'll never sell you a roof you don't need. Laporta Roofing carries all insurance, including workers' compensation on all of its employees. Not just a waiver like other contractors. Laporta Roofing can handle any type of roofing job too. Residential roofing, HOAs, condominiums, and churches. If it's roofing, Laporta Roofing can do it. So call Tom Laporta on his cell phone, 954-604-4602, or connect online at laportaroofing.com. That number again is 954-604-4602. Laporta Roofing, the go-to roofing company you can trust.
South Florida's only professional women's soccer team is back. Fort Lauderdale United FC is on fire with 5 wins and a draw in their last 6 matches. They're now in second place. Don't miss the excitement of the Florida Derby, Saturday, March 8th at 7:30 p.m. against Tampa Bay Sun FC. Tickets start at just $20, plus enjoy a $3 hat-trick food menu. You can even win a cruise to the Bahamas, courtesy of the True Oldies channel. Get your tickets at FTLUTD.com. Brought to you by All Year Cooling.
It's that time of year again. On the line, Scott Messelmore from Cut My Kilowatt. Scott's going to tell you all how he can save you boatloads of money for the rest of the time you live in your home off your electric bill.
My claim to fame is Radiant Barrier. I brought that to South Florida 15 years ago, and I think I launched it with you guys on your show. It's the cheapest, easiest way to really create a game-changing situation in your house. You know, your attic gets super, super hot this summer, and the Radiant Barrier just reflects all that energy that comes in through the roof. It shoots it right back out the roof, lowering the temperature in your attic 30 or 40 degrees, and also cutting off the radiant heat wave that heats up your roof and then heats up your whole entire house. It just burns that hot energy from the sun and shoots it right back out the roof. And it's just a game changer in people's house. It usually cuts their AC runtime in half, lowers the electric bill about 30 to 40%.
I'm going to give you Scott's number at Cut My Kilowatts. This is Scott's cell phone, 954-939-1500. It's 954-939-1500.
Hey, I want to say God bless us that Trump won this year.
Absolutely.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Celebrating 8 years on...
All right, it is Open Maga Mike Friday. On Friday's show, it's open phones. You can call in about any and everything on your mind. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Tom, Florida. I just want to know why those casinos are running. Those casinos are running in Ukraine. Putin's still murdering Ukrainian citizens, and Russia is the invader. Ukraine did not go over into Russia. Russia is the one that went over.
You know, this is an interesting thing. Slow down. I got a question because Ukraine. You think Ukraine's important? What's the number one export to the United States from Ukraine? What is their importance to us?
Did you ever hear that Ukraine is called the breadbasket of the world? Did you ever hear that?
No, it's the breadbasket of Europe. We're not in Europe. What is their number one? We're the breadbasket. We're the breadbasket. We're the breadbasket. What is the number one export to the United States from Ukraine?
Okay, besides being called the breadbasket of the world and everybody in...
Breadbasket of Europe.
What does that entail, Brian?
We're not in Europe. What do they give up? What do we get from Ukraine?
Lithium now.
Lithium? No. No.
No, that's not the deal.
The number one export from Ukraine to the United States is Ukrainians.
Sunflower and wheat.
Who just whispered that to you? Who's there with you? I heard someone talking to you. Who's that talking to you?
He's with me, Brian. I just let him...
I can hear them. I heard them again, and it sounded like a woman. I'm in shock. You got a woman with you? Uh-huh.
I changed the subject. And
Who whispered sun? Where'd you get sunflower at?
I told you sunflowers before, like you.
There was a voice that sounded feminine that said sunflower. I heard it.
You are an arrogant prick. You're an arrogant
All right, okay. We got to hit the dump button. See, you got to hit the dump button. That's one of the words. You know what? Maybe he's so upset because people know he's with a woman in the car. Maybe Tom doesn't want people to know he's with a woman. And for the life of me, I don't know why that caused him to use one of the 7 words. Because we've had some knockout, drag out. I'm waiting for the delay to rebuild. So if you're on hold, stand by. And while we're waiting for the delay to rebuild, a caller in the last segment, he's watching online and he says, Brian, you're looking great. The guy that's been listening to the Steve Kane Show so long remembers the urine lady. And I was telling him, thanks to Dr. Zuckerman and Coastal Weight Loss Secret, I told my wife when I first started, she says, what do you weigh? I said, I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you. But I did tell her, okay, finally, I told her what I weighed and what I weigh now. I lost my 25 pounds, of course. And my wife told me yesterday that I weigh what I weighed when my daughter was born, who's about to turn 26 years old. So this is the lightest I've been in 26 years. Absolutely amazing. The lightest I've been in 26 years. No, I'll never tell you what I weighed and what I weigh. I know I'm supposed to tell people that. I know for this kind of thing, I'm not doing it. But it wasn't that bad. I mean, But it was 25 pounds too much. And I was talking yesterday to Coastal Weight Loss Secret. They said, so what are you going to do, Brian? You want to start just maintaining what you're at? What do you want to do? I said, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to keep going. Because I didn't think I could lose this much, and I did it so quickly. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. But I do know this. I lost all this weight without any exercise, no steps, no walking, nothing. Okay? I'm eating all the stuff I like to eat. And no medication. I'm not taking Ozempic or anything, okay? People keep asking, on Ozempic. No, I'm not. And I wouldn't recommend you do that either. And boom. A month early, I lost all the weight that I planned on losing. I reached my goal almost a month early. Just by a couple days. So, listen, go see Dr. Zuckerman at Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Here's the number, 561-247-6300. When you call, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the True Oldies channel. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlasssecret.com. All right, there's one opening on the board. The delay is re-engaged. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is JJ from Maskell.
Hey, JJ. Tom, we've had some real arguments, and today, just the idea that he's with a woman just flipped him out.
It's strange things are happening now. Well, you know what I was going to say, Brian, was 2 things. I wanted to talk about, Jersey J had brought something up a while back, and one of the callers here today reminded me of it, and it had to do with the narrative, like around cancer research and the like, medical research. And but first I wanted to say the Gavin Newsom and Charlie Kirk, Brian, just a thought. I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense, but I'm also thinking of the audience and the market that, Charlie Kirk's people are not going to watch Gavin Newsom, and they're certainly not going to be persuaded by them. But the people over there, some of those people may have not, that would actually watch, Newcomb would, they may not even know who the hell Charlie Kirk is, but now they do. I think there's much better chance that they'll be persuaded by Charlie Kirk than anybody from the with regard to
Maybe.
that's just a thought. But this medical research thing, which a lot of people are thinking that Trump and Elon and somehow we're evil people and we want to cut money for cancer research. And just like the United States government has an administrative state, so does academic medical research. And the IDC, which is called it stands for the indirect cost, Trump has lowered that, I believe, to 25%, where it used to be 75%. The Gates Foundation is at 10%, and some of the other big ones are at 10%. But the government and all the different agencies, like the NIH has like 27 institutes and centers that when a PI, fills out, a PI would be the principal investigator, fills out, an application to receive an award from one of these agencies or centers. The IDC goes to the hospital. So think of it like a pro football player. If that pro football player has a lot of, it's going to score a lot of touchdowns. That quarterback gets the most amount of money. The hospitals actually go after these doctors that have these awards and grants.
Yeah.
Professional football teams go after the best football players because they're bringing the money into the hospital, and it's somewhat. That's
right. It's a big scam, and then you get all the. And listen, I'm short on time, but I appreciate the call. There's one opening on the board. I just Googled remember the lady calling about the casinos in Ukraine? She's right. There's a lot of casinos in Ukraine. Billionaire Casino in Kiev, Win Boss in Odessa. There's another one listed here in Kiev. Here's TripAdvisor, the 10 best Ukrainian casinos. And I'm reading here, it says here that gambling was illegal until 2020 in Ukraine. So no, they do have casinos throughout Ukraine, and they also have a bunch of online ones too. That's crazy. All right, let's. If you're on hold, hang in there. There's only one opening on the board. We'll take our last break.
The cold.
All right, we are back, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with our final gold and precious metals report of the week. William Youngerman, how the metals ending up this week?
Metals are ending up pretty strong. Nice gain so far today. A little bit of a pullback yesterday after trading in a range of $2,889 on the low to $2,927 on the high, and closing above that support level of $2,911.50 yesterday, down $7.20. Silver closed unchanged at $32.60 the ounce. Silver's staying nicely above that $32 number of late. Platinum up $1 at $9.67, and palladium closed up $1 at $930. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range of $2,898 all the way up to $2,928. And right now we're at $2,923 the ounce. That's up $11.50. So we're down 5 cents at $32.55 the ounce. Platinum, again, unchanged at $9.67, and palladium up $2 at $9.32. So gold's doing very well. Silver's doing very well. And certainly look like they're still poised to go much higher.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to gold, we've been talking a lot about, and I want to know if people are coming in and taking advantage of this, the great deals on the pre-33 gold coins.
Old U.S. Gold coins, $20 gold pieces, $10 gold pieces are very affordable at the lowest premiums in history, practically.
Yeah.
They're good buying opportunities if you have a tendency to like some old historic gold coins. And we also have some of the foreign countries, pre-33 gold coins.
Oh, really?
These sovereigns, French 20 francs, all these different sizes of gold coins from all these different countries, and they're just going for a fractional amount over their gold values. So buying opportunities for somebody to start a little coin collection of just gold coins of the world.
I didn't know they were available with the other nations. That's the first I heard of that. I thought they were just the American coins.
there are many different countries that you can buy these coins from.
I have friends that are pre-33 gold guys, and they're very loyal to that. They love that stuff. I mean, they don't. A lot of people don't stray off of that pre-33. And when you say it's at the lowest prices you've seen in your 60-year career in the metals, that's a time, guys. But all the gold's good to buy right now. I mean, the prices on gold are just out of this world. William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. You can stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. You can give them a call, toll free, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, and find both his website, find both his address and phone number on his website, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk next week. All right, take care. Now, before we go back to the calls, I want to tell you guys about the incredible Sloman's offer on the free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. If you've not already gotten this call, this is great. It will change your life. It's a great thing for your security, but it's so nice to get a notification on your cell phone no matter where you are when there's movement at your door. And most of the time what I use it for is when I'm home and I don't want to be bothered by somebody coming to the door that I don't want to open the door for. And you never have to worry about that. You know, you don't have to get up and look out the window. You don't have to get up and look out the people. I hate that. You know, before I had the doorbell camera, you know, there's always guys knocking on my door, not just solicitors, but like the lawn crew guys. They're doing someone's lawn down the street and then they stop they want to trim my trees or something. And I used to have to open up the blinds depending on where I was in the house. And sometimes they'd see me. I'd be like, oh, man, they saw me. They probably, you know, now what am I going to do? You know. But with the doorbell camera, you can look on your cell phone no matter where you are. You never have to go through that. And you can get a doorbell camera that connects to your cell phone, too, for free with the installation of your Sloman's Shield. They're also going to, now this is really amazing. You'll love it. They're also going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. You get an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts for your doors and windows, a lifetime warranty, plus a backup battery, and you'll get a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Give them a call. 1-800-ALARM-ME. 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Yep, you're on the air.
Oh, hi. This is Joan from Tampa Bay. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Listen, I look at the currency market a lot. So one, the huvna. Huvna.
The huvna. What country is that from?
Ukraine.
Oh, okay. The huvna. That's what they use in Ukraine, the huvna. I think they use USD now, US dollars.
Well, no. They use the huvna. I think it's huvna. So one huvna, okay? So $1 US buys $40.96, 40.96 huvna. So,
okay.
Have we seen Pablo from Ukraine go to a store and show us the prices? There are so many countries that pay less money than we.
You know, have you watched Pablo from Ukraine on YouTube? Okay, you know, I've been talking about this guy since the war began, and just let me recap for those that don't know, because I haven't talked to him about him in a while. He's a 20-something young man who's a vlogger in Ukraine. He's got a girlfriend that doesn't wear bras. She's kind of like Nancy Mace, and they run through Ukraine doing YouTube videos and house restorations and stuff like this. They have I never see bombs dropping. He's not in the army. I mean, are we paying this guy? I mean, what's the deal with him?
You know, when he does this thing on YouTube, I'm sure he's getting paid in US dollars.
I don't know. He did this one video on how there's no electricity in Ukraine. I'm like, well, how's he uploading his video to YouTube if there's no electricity? You know, I mean, he's a propagandist. He's kind of like Tokyo Rose.
Exactly. But one U.S. dollar is $40.96 an hour.
Okay, I appreciate it. Okay, now we got the currency exchange. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Dave, and good morning, little boy.
Oh, this is nice. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, did I touch you?
No, it sounds perverted. Why would you, you just sound like a creep.
Or would you prefer little man? Because, well,
You just sound like a creep. That's all. But go on. It's fine. It's open phones Friday. Open MAGA Mike Friday.
yeah, so did you hear about the, was it Johnson's aide or his staff member that got drunk driving after the speech of Trump?
Yes, the Speaker of the House, his staffer was arrested for drunk driving after leaving the speech. Okay, so and?
Well, probably one of, X's buddies,
Most people have at some point in their life made the mistake of driving intoxicated. I mean, what does that mean to you?
Not people with a conscience, but typical.
No, in fact, I remember President Clinton's White House press secretary was a lady. I can't remember her name. She got arrested drunk in her car in D.C. It happens. They have a lot of parties. Anybody remember I'm talking about? She was blonde. She was Clinton's press secretary early on in his first term. I cannot remember her name. But it happens.
Definitely fake news.
No, it's not fake news. It's not even news. It's history. It happened like in the 90s. This happens. People get DUIs. So what does that mean? That MAGA's fake because Mike Johnson has a staffer that got a DUI? What's the significance of that?
Oh, it just proves that they're drunks and rapists.
Well, I heard a drunk driver, but I didn't hear a rape.
Texas has been accused, and
has been accused. There's a difference between being accused and actually being, right?
So Trump is a felon then, because he's not accused. He is a felon.
No.
No, but he.
No.
Then.
He was framed in a kangaroo court, led by a judge that was on the take.
Right. You just twist it around, but can't believe the truth. I get it. It's okay. That's the MAGA way.
What's your way?
My way is the American working man's way.
The American working man's way. What does that mean? Dee Dee Myers. Thank you very much. Somebody gave me the name. Dee Dee Myers found drunk in her car in D.C. and she. He hung up. Yes. You know why he hung up? Because he knew the next part was coming. He couldn't think that far ahead about his job. And you know why he couldn't think clearly? I'll clean it up. He not only is he a pervert, he was getting personal pleasure talking to me. And it's really, I hate to say it, I've told Mike about this. I have had over the years men call me on the air who were in different stages of that. Okay? And earlier I was telling you how popular I am with black men. I got a lot of black men that listen to the audience. I've also been I'm very popular with perverted gay men. And most of the ones that are gay, that are perverted with me, are in the closet about their perversions. But that guy, he couldn't think on his feet fast enough because he was in the middle of taking care of business, so to speak, and it was clouding his judgment there. All right, our number is 888-465-2631. We're nearing the end of the week, but I want to end though with this because this is very, very important. I like to end where we began on this one because it's such good news. CBS News has a new poll of President Trump after his historic speech the other night. 76% approval rating for President Trump. 76% approval. By the way, I'm not taking calls because one of the people on hold is most definitely the guy. He's probably he may have finished and now he wants to tell me, or maybe he's having trouble without me and wants me to help at the end, and that ain't gonna happen. Okay, I'm not an OnlyFans radio guy. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Why can't I have? Well, I take that back. My wife was a listener, and she came to an appearance to meet me, and we've been married. We're married. Been married a long time. It's going to be 29 years this year. So I guess I did have one female stalker, my wife, and then that was the end of it. But since I've been married, all my stalkers have been, and creeps have been men. It's my life. But anyway, I was talking to Steve about this once because I was having a problem with a guy, and he says, "Why don't they stalk me? Why are they stalking you?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know, Steve, but if you want to have these guys, I'm happy to give them to you." But the things that people get, jealous. That's the radio business, guys. The CBS News poll, though, 76% approve of President Trump, and that's how popular he is right now. 76% in a CBS poll. CBS News poll. CBS News is one of the most liberal of the mainstream media outlets. They don't get the attention they used to get, but remember, CBS News are the ones that had that fake document that George W. Bush was AWOL from the Texas Air National Guard. So, that's what Dan Rather days. So if CBS News has President Trump at 76, you've got to add 10, maybe 15 points to that poll. And I'm surprised that they released it, to tell you the truth. It's pretty shocking. 76% approval by CBS News. That's how popular everything President Trump is doing. See, a lot of this country has felt held hostage by these wokesters. That trans sports and critical race theory, the list goes on, the Ukraine war. And they thought that this country was mostly woke, mostly radical liberal. And President Trump's popularity in the landslide re-election that he had, a lot of people have realized, wow, he makes a lot of sense. Look at this. By people that hate him. It's amazing. And people keep asking, what's he done in his second term? He's done a lot, but I'm out of time for this week. We'll be back on Monday. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. We'll see you Monday morning at 6 a.m.
Brian Craig here. We're in studio with retirement advisor Jupiter Joe Thomas.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. If you're new,
on
make sure you
show.
subscribe.
You say
All right. Take care, everyone.
Should dictate how risky they are with